Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second game of the doubleheader, Tufts University against Middlebury College. If you tuned in for the first game, you saw a nail-biting victory by the Jumbos in the 8th inning, which was extra innings. This game will be going the full 9. Digging in for Middlebury as we start off today on a beautiful day here at Huskins Field is Andrew Hennings, who's playing second base for the Panthers today. My name is Owen Fingen. I'm joined here by Lucas Pyle as Brent Greeley delivers a ball, first pitch of the game, and we are off.
Did I just get the Lucas Pyle treatment?
Johnson is what I meant.
That's a bad one to mix up.
I am so sorry. Lucas Pyle, of course, our other beloved colleague at JumboCast.
It's just we were talking a lot about Lucas Pyle
I'm
earlier.
so sorry.
It's all right. It's not necessarily a good thing to be compared to him, but it's not the worst thing either.
There's worse. Brent Greeley is the pitcher for the Jumbos this afternoon. Won NESCAC Player of the Week a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact. Has been a solid pitcher ever since his freshman year, where he was a closer for the team and has now transitioned into a starting role these past couple of years. That ball hit to the third baseman, Elias Varinos. Excuse me. That is not Varinos playing third base for the Jumbos in the second game of the doubleheader, but that's going to be a putout for Hennings to be the first out of the game.
It's J.P. Knight holding down third base in the doubleheader, second half.
So J.P. Knight actually is playing third base. Thank you, Lucas. Brooks Carroll digging in for the Panthers. The shortstop. Swinging early here. Got to say, Lucas, it is the perfect day for baseball.
It is first day of the semester where I'm able to go outside in short sleeves, so looking forward to getting a nice little sunburn going today.
Both of us rocking the short sleeves today, and I have to say this is the first JumboCast broadcast this season. That pitch is delivered just on the bottom of the zone. That's going to be a ball.
And it's a shame that you can't see us on cam because I had to bust out the old vintage nice JumboCast polo.
That thing is a classic.
Circa 2017,
Just about. 2016, I think,
2016,
right?
Wow.
That ball is up in the zone for a strike, up and inside, painted the corner there. So it'll be 2 strikes on Carroll. Carroll, a junior from Davidson, North Carolina. So making the trek from North Carolina all the way up to northern Vermont. Maybe that's why I was thinking Lucas Pyle at the beginning of the broadcast. Lucas Pyle, a native resident of Middlebury. Lucas Johnson, a resident of Ball Springs or something like that.
Little mashup, Ballston Spa, close to Saratoga Springs.
There you go.
I'll take it, Ball Springs, why not? Surprised you knew that, to be
fair. I pay attention. Count is 1-2. Ball comes in. He's swinging early, Carroll is. Knocks a foul on the third base line.
Greeley with a 14 strikeout to 14 walk ratio. Oh, and that simplifies to a 1-to-1 ratio.
It sure does. Neither of us are math majors, but we can figure that one out. Count remains 1-2. Carroll staying alive. Ball hits sharply to left field, but curves foul again. Can't get that ball to hook in to fair territory. Of course, the wind blowing towards the third base side. Not a particularly strong wind here at Huskins Field today, but it is blowing.
Yeah, it's the first time, as we mentioned, just a beautiful day here. First time that we're not complaining about the wind. It actually feels kind of refreshing.
That does. There can be a nasty wind here. I don't know why that is, because we're not particularly elevated in any way, and we are surrounded by houses. But something about this field can create a wind tunnel, which for us broadcasters can be quite unpleasant. But today it is perfect. Greeley's pitch comes in. And that is going to be a ball. 2-2. Carroll didn't offer. Good take there.
Carroll, a speedster on the base path. He's got 11 stolen bases already on the season.
Goodness me. And if you were watching the last game, you saw, I think, like 4 or 5 stolen bases for the Panthers against the Jumbos. So watch out if he gets on base. Greeley delivers, and it's up high, way high, and the count will be full. Greeley, a junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania, graduate of Malvern Prep. He delivers, swinging down the third base line, gets past Knight, rolls into left field, and we'll see if he tries to take 2 here. I think he will. Santos Ocampo can't pick up the ball, and Carroll will be safe at second. So 1 out, man on second, and an unfortunate bounce for J.P. Knight at the third base line there.
Yeah, and they're going to get him with an error, it appears. Definitely hit on a rope. That was a tough one to handle, but, kind of routine. Did get a glove on it and ultimately just kind of trickled into left field.
Up next for Middlebury is the sophomore Henry Stremecki, outfielder from Wilton, Connecticut. So there'll be some Connecticut on Connecticut action here. Greeley working from the stretch here with a man on second base, and as Lucas just mentioned, a fast man on second base. Looks him down, delivers the pitch, and that is a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, we saw in the first game Middlebury very aggressive on the base pass, even stealing third late in the game. Typically with 1 out, you wouldn't necessarily go second to third, but with Carroll's speed, who knows?
Absolutely. Greeley and I, of course, floor mates our freshman year at the beloved Houston Hall, as that ball is hit foul down the third base line. So a lot of action down that third base line there. J.P. Knight's going to have to keep his head on a swivel.
A lot of action at Houston Hall right now as it's under renovation.
Sure is.
People still live there, though, right? They can't just get rid of – really?
So I think what they did, as Greeley gets ready to deliver to the next pitch, I will tell his story in between pitches. Greeley delivered here, getting the sign from his catcher. Looks the man down at second and delivers. Ball bounces in the dirt. Good stop by – that's got to be Shackelford catching. So I think what happened was students lived in Houston in the fall when Miller was under renovation, and then moved to Miller, and then, Houston is under renovation. So pretty complicated rooming situation up there up on the hill.
I did not know that.
Greeley looks down, goes for the pick at second base. Man's going to be safe there. Good job looking him down, though, as we mentioned, stealing was a big issue in I almost said yesterday's game. That's how long ago it feels. But this morning's game.
And that was Verinos. He's playing second in the second half of this doubleheader.
Good to know. Elias Verinos, one of the junior leaders of this team. Not a captain, but one of the emotional leaders of this Jumbos team. Greeley delivers. Ball is low. Going to make the count 3-2, I believe. Excuse me, 2-2. Stremecki rocking that bright red bat. I like it.
There goes the runner.
Yeah, takes off, hit and run. Great play by the shortstop there, but both men are going to be safe. So a good call from the Panthers side with that hit and run, and well executed by Henry Stremecki. Runners on the corners and only 1 out. So Jumbo's in trouble early. Jake Diano stepping in for the Panthers now. Number 13, he's DHing for the squad today in the cleanup spot.
I've seen Greeley get a bunch of balls on the ground right now. He could sure use one to one of his middle infielders, and turning 2 here to get out of this jam.
Did he go? He's going to say that he did. So a close call there for Diano, but that is strike 1 with a ball in the dirt. Strikeout here would be nice, as it eliminates the opportunity of a sacrifice fly, if I'm not mistaken. Greeley, the right-hander, delivers. That ball is struck well by Diano. High into the outfield. Caught by the center fielder. Runner tags on third, and he is going to be safe to make it 1-0 early in this afternoon game. Second game of a doubleheader. So right as I mentioned, the sacrifice fly, it happened. So call it an RBI for Diano.
And is that, I believe, well, the first runner reached on an error, so I believe that's not going to count towards Greeley's ERA, so he's still rocking that 0 ERA in the season.
That's right. That's a good call.
Be interesting to see with this sun really breaking through. I mean, it's barely any clouds in the sky right now, if that'll affect the outfielder's ability to see the ball.
It is bright. There were some clouds this morning as Greeley delivers a strike. Fastball has some heat on it. It was a little bit cloudy this morning. Those clouds are now long gone, and it is almost a completely clear sky. So definitely something to look out for, as it was a problem in the latter innings of the first game. Goes for the pick at second. Overthrew it a little bit, but Varinos was there.
That's why you back him up.
Exactly. Fundamentals. Hayden Smith, the batter for the Panthers. Native of Charlotte, North Carolina, so the second North Carolina native we've seen today. Ball comes in, that's outside. Going to make a 1-1. Count evens up at 1-1. As you mentioned, Smith is on the batting leaders board for the Panthers with a .283 average. That puts him in the top 10 batters on this team. So not bad with the bat in his hands at all as Greeley's pitch is low to make it 2-1. So now with a hitter's count and a man in scoring position, we'll see what Smith can do. 9 RBI on the season. Greeley needs one more out to get out of this inning. And that'll help. Looked like an off-speed pitch dropped right into the middle of the zone, and that's a strike. So we've got twos across the board. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So important pitch coming. Smith choking up on the bat. Ball comes in, it's high. And that'll be a full count there.
I think that one must have, he clearly missed his spot, but if you're going to miss in the zone, you definitely want to miss by throwing it in the dirt. Most of the time, hitters are going to chase that as opposed to something at eye level. It's just human instinct. If something's coming at you at the eyes, you're not going to swing the bat.
Yeah, well said. So we'll have a full count with 2 outs, so the runners will be going on this pitch. The run, of course, being Stremecki at second base, but Greeley looks him back. Really deliberate here with this last pitch.
It's an important pitch here. Got to limit the damage.
That ball struck sharply to right field. Runner will be rounding third. Stremecki going home. He'll be safe by a mile. But now we got a play here at second base. Diving in, and he's going to be called out. Good heads-up baseball by the catcher, Frickman.
Yeah, and boy, Tufts got fortunate as they missed the cutoff man by a mile. But as you mentioned, nice play by Frickman up in front of the plate and gunning down the man at second. So Tufts able to prevent further damage, but Middlebury comes away with 2 in the top of the first.
Absolutely. We'll be back at the bottom of the first. is Justin Mills, outfielder for the Tufts Jumbos, is getting ready to lead off for the Jumbos here. Down 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning.
And Mills looking to pick up where he left off last game. Of course, he hit the game-winning sac fly to walk the Jumbos off in, 8 innings, I believe?
8 innings, that's right. In case you didn't hear, this game will be the full 9 innings. It will not be an abbreviated game due to the extra innings from the last game. So, full game of baseball here today as senior pitcher Colin Waters delivers a pitch, and that is a strike.
Colin Waters 2-1 on the year, 20 innings pitched, 19 hits, 18 strikeouts, 10 walks. That's a 3.60 ERA.
It's got to be the most innings on the team, right?
It actually is not. Morris has more. He's pitched 28 on the season.
There you go. Waters a New Jersey native. Basking Ridge. That ball is up and outside. 2-1 on Mills. Waters, an imposing figure. Has to be one of the tallest players on either side today as that ball runs in on Mills to make it 3-1. Checking my stat sheet here, it says that Waters stands at a imposing 6'6". Could get some run on the Middlebury basketball team.
It looks like that's the tallest on the team, not surprisingly.
That ball is down and away, and Mills will take a walk, 4-1. So runners early for both teams here. As Ryan Day gets ready to bat for the Jumbos.
Can't remember, Owen, is this your first broadcast of the season for baseball?
This is my first broadcast of the season for baseball. That is right, Lucas.
So what do you think of these new walk-up songs? You like them?
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that. That has to be new this year, right? I can't remember that from last year. I love them. I'm a big fan of walk-up music, I have to say. Waters delivers. Day taken all the way. That's a strike. But yeah, I have to say, you can tell a lot from a person by their walk-up song.
Absolutely.
Day, of course, walking up to the Darius Rucker version of Wagon Wheel, which I may remind folks at home as Waters delivers a pitch that is outside. I just want to remind the folks at home that it is originally performed by Old Crow Medicine Show and originally written by Bob Dylan. So it is not a Darius Rucker original, although that is far and away the most famous version. Waters looking for a pick on Mills there. Mills diving back to safety. Day 364 average on the year, so he can swing the bat. Not right there, though, as that ball runs inside. It's going to the left fielder. That should be an out. And it is, as Mills retreats back to safety on first base. So fly out to the left fielder for Mills. For Day. Left fielder Santos Ocampo, Casey Santos Ocampo, is stepping in for the Jumbos.
Of course, with the introduction of walk-up music, that begs the question, something that everybody has obviously thought about many times. Owen, what would your walk-up song be if you're still athletically gifted enough to play baseball?
That is a great question, Lucas, and this is something I've thought about at length. And I think the answer changes quite frequently, but right now I got to go with Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix.
Nice, very nice.
I'm a classic rock guy myself, so why not pick one of the GOATs, right? Waters delivers to Ocampo. It's close, but it'll be called a ball by the home plate umpire. What would yours be?
Another... I've thought about this long and hard as well, and it really varies day by day. I feel like baseball, you either have to have a classic rock, as a pickoff attempt is no good. Classic rock song, as you mentioned, is a big one. Country is huge as well, but me, I'm more of a hip-hop guy, so I think I'd go with something more kind of classic. I'd probably go with Mr. Carter by Lil Wayne and Jay-Z.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Waters delivers again. That's a strike right at the belt of the Santos Ocampo. Count's going to be 1-1. Waters a right-handed pitcher, so there's a pair of right-handed starters for both teams today. At least in the afternoon, that is. Santos Ocampo disagrees with the call, but that is called a strike lone outside. Good pitch by Waters there. Also like to remind the folks at home that this is technically a non-conference game. as Middlebury is in the NESCAC West, Tufts in the NESCAC East. So something to ponder as this game goes on. Waters staring down Ocampo. Mills takes off, timed it not very well, and that's going to be the easiest pick ever for Waters there. So that'll go down as a caught stealing, I guess, on Mills.
Yeah, not really sure what prompted him to jump. You don't see that too often. Usually, I guess it's a timing thing where he's just kind of got this clock in his head, but Mills guessed wrong there, and Tufts isn't going to be happy with that result.
No, not at all. And so both teams really looking to run here. Get runners in scoring position.
It'd be interesting to see. Maybe Tufts is a little antsy being down 2 runs. It's not a position they find themselves in very often.
Waters now with an empty, with a clear bases. Delivers a ball low to Santos Ocampo. That'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Santos Ocampo, a senior, but not one of the captains of the team. Hailing originally from Naples, Florida. Ball comes in, he swings at it, and it's a whiff. So a strikeout to end the inning for Waters. That is an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. As Greeley trots out to take the mound for the Jumbos, we will be back in just a few moments. So one of Lucas Johnson's favorite songs playing in the intermission between the first and second inning here.
And yet I don't even know the name of the song.
And we don't even know the name of the song. Alec Rich.
This is Alan Guild, actually.
Alan Guild. I was looking at the wrong number on the team. So Alan Guild, who I believe is DHing for the squad today, will be digging in. 5th batter for the Middlebury lineup. Swing and a miss, so 2 strikes early to the DH. Guild, a junior, a native of Kensington, Connecticut. So a lot of Connecticut players on this Middlebury squad.
Would make sense.
Not too far geographically, I guess. Greeley looking to put him down quick, but it's offered at. That might fall. Santos Campbell running in, and a beautiful diving play. That's an out. And a web gem from Santos Ocampo.
Yeah, I was going to mention earlier, you mentioned Santos Ocampo, not a captain, but he is certainly one of their leaders out there.
Absolutely.
And he really does a great job patrolling left field for the Jumbos. He had a spectacular catch last week. I believe it was against Bates. Just really an unbelievable effort last week, and another nice feat of athleticism there. Yeah, it helps, too, at Huskins Field. I don't know how good the angle is you get on the camera, but left field is really large, really stretches, as Greeley delivers a strike against Ryan Hanrahan. And you can see right field a little bit shorter, so you really need like the range of a center fielder to be able to play left field here. Santos Ocampo certainly has that, as he actually used to play center field. Greeley delivers a ball. This is the first baseman, Ryan Hanrahan, up to bat for the Panthers. Hanrahan, a New York native, just like yourself, Lucas. Bronxville, New York, just not exactly close to Ball Springs, as you called it, but we'll take it from the state.
That ball bounces off a home plate, careens over Frixton's head, so that'll be ball 1. smacked foul
Yeah,
off the end of the bat there.
He got ahead of that one. If he's just waited on that split second later, he's sending that one deep to left.
Yeah, that one's gone. So that'll be the second strike on Hanrahan. Really seemed to have pick up his pace a little bit here in the second inning. I have to say, I know there's no runners on, but still. Second ball to get away from the catcher here. That ball skids to the backstop, and that'll make it 3-2, a full count on Hanrahan. So we'll see what Greeley has to offer here. Greeley with the payoff pitch. Delivers, bounces again. So that'll be a walk for Hanrahan. Greeley had him in an 0-2 hole, just couldn't finish him off.
Yeah, good job by Hanrahan working back from that 0-2 hole. That's always one of the most impressive aspects of hitting is, it doesn't really have anything to do with actually hitting. It's just being patient, having a good eye at the plate, and, in this case, really a walk is as good as a hit.
So now a freshman here, the left fielder, Alec Rich, digging in for the Panthers with a man on first and one out. Greeley looking back, and not a surprising pickoff attempt there, as we mentioned, stealing being a big issue for this team today. Peter DiMaria playing first base for the Jumbos today.
Yeah, DiMaria really has earned his spot in this rotation, having a great first year with the Jumbos.
Rich not on any list for any batting leaders, statistically, but a freshman in the lineup speaks for itself. Greeley delivers. That ball is low again. Good stop by Frickman. That's exactly what you want to do if you're Frickman. You want to let that ball roll out down the third base line so you can get a good angle. So a beautiful stop.
I don't think I ever played catcher in any of my years. I might have played in T-ball, in which catcher is irrelevant anyway.
You don't even wear pads. Ball's a strike down below the knees of Rich there. Good pitch by Greeley. I don't think I ever played catcher either. I think they stuck me in left field because that's where the least amount of balls went. I was kind of a liability.
I never really understood that because most hitters are righties, I believe, by the statistics. And wouldn't a righty pull the ball more often than not?
Well, this was also Little League as Greeley delivers. That ball is stung sharply in the second base hole. Verino's diving for it, can't get it. So man on first and second here. A lot of base runners early for the Panthers. So the freshman Rich making his impact known in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Greeley got the ball on the ground to one of his middle infielders, but just out of the reach of Verinos. Unlucky for the Jumbos.
The catcher, number 10, Phil Bernstein.
The catcher, number 10, Phil Bernstein, getting ready to hit in the 9-hole for the Panthers. Different catcher than the Panthers played in the first game of the doubleheader, which is not an unusual move. Greeley delivers. Bernstein smacks that to center field. Runner will score here. Let's see if they can score two. They won't. They'll hold him at third, and that's a single for Bernstein, and man on first and third. So the Panthers off to an early lead, 3-0 here in the top of the second inning.
Not the start the Jumbos were looking for. As you mentioned,
Certainly
Middlebury
not.
hitting them very hard. These aren't even just lucky hits or weak contact. They're really getting the bat around the ball, getting the barrel on it. That was a nice shot going right back up the middle into center field.
Bernstein is senior and added an RBI to his career. Back to the top of the order as we have the second baseman Hennings, who grounded out in his last at-bat, which was not too long ago. Only one out, but there is a double play here in effect. Count is 1-0. Greeley keeps throwing strikes, though. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the offensive approach changes for the Jumbos as they're down here 3-0. As you mentioned, not very used to being down with only 3 losses on the season. Ball's hit to left field. Santos Ocampo is there, running in, catches it for the second out of the inning, and holds the runner at third. Another nice play by Santos Ocampo.
Yeah, and he didn't really get a great jump on that ball, but still able to recover. That just shows to his ability out there. Still able to make that play, even though he kind of started going back a little bit. And also the runner on third, I think, was a little confused as to what to do as well, because what actually happened is that ball was hit far enough, where the runner on third probably could have tagged up, but
yeah,
just a bad read.
Yeah, you have to have a good arm in left field there. As we mentioned, it goes back 354 feet at its deepest point, whereas right field is only 309 feet here at Huskins Field, so a little bit of odd dimensions. Greeley delivers to the shortstop, Brooks Carroll, and that'll be a strike. Carroll, as you mentioned, is pretty fleet-footed on the base pass, added a stolen base to his season total last time he was up, where I believe he reached base on an error.
Good pitch.
And is now down in a hole 0-2. Carroll 385 average on the season as well, so he can hit. Has a home run, too. Really looking to end the inning with this pitch, getting the sign from his coach here. Stands and delivers. Ball is swung on, and good job staying alive for Carroll. Can't imagine the catcher Bernstein will try anything tricky on the base paths here.
Absolutely not. Unless this count runs full, I don't think he's going to be going anywhere.
Not to generalize catchers, but don't usually try to see them snag a base. Greeley the pitch and a tie. Count evens up at 2-2. No, it doesn't. That is the first ball, 1-2. This is why I'm not an umpire.
I would hate being an umpire.
Can you imagine a worse job? Although I will say I was an umpire in Little League for a little bit, for one of my summers in my youth. Ball's down low, and that one will even the count at 2-2.
Good job by Carroll to lay off that one, holding the swing.
Underrated struggle of being an umpire. We saw it last game. We won't see it this game as the home base umpire is rocking short sleeves. But the umpire last game was rocking the full blazer and everything. And it's a pretty hot day out there today, and that's an all-black outfit. They got to be sweating under there with all the pads, too. Greeley, crucial pitch here, and it's swung on and tapped foul by Carroll.
Now, do we always have two-man umpire crews, or is this just a doubleheader thing?
I was actually wondering that, but I'm not sure. We saw they don't have a great vantage point at first base.
Really anything,
yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, true. So some of those calls down at first base can get a little dicey with this two-man crew. Pitch comes in. It's going to be close, and it's a strikeout looking on Carroll. So Greeley able to put him away pretty quickly in this inning. And the Jumbos will hopefully dig themselves out. They hope to dig themselves out of a 3-0 hole. We'll be back for the bottom of the second inning. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the second inning, as we mentioned. Tufts down 3-0. Digging in for the Jumbos will be number 32, Peter DiMaria, the freshman. And you had some stats about DiMaria ready to go, right, Lucas?
Of course. DiMaria, obviously, as we mentioned, having a very impressive season, as he'll take the first pitch high for a ball, batting .500 on the season. And, I mean, you know, as we see in the majors right now, that's not necessarily too impressive as the majors have just started. But, you know, with D3 baseball, season's well underway.
Second strike.
So it looks like DiMaria's production is here to stay.
Count is 1-1. 500 average. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, 2 home runs, too. So has some pop behind there as well as the average as he takes the second strike, 1-2. DiMaria batting in the cleanup spot today for the Jumbos. Well, of course, it was a 1-2-3 inning in the first inning with that caught stealing on Mills. So he'll be leading off this inning. Waters working quickly. Delivers another pitch that is in the dirt to even the count at 2-2.
You know, I was about to say DiMaria, the Chatham, New Jersey native, which is true, but don't you think it's kind of funny? I feel like baseball commentators, that's their go-to thing, is always just where they're from.
Where they're from, yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy. You know, and when I don't have something to say, I usually just say where they're from. Sometimes I have, if it's a Massachusetts town, I usually have some insight to add.
There you go.
But I don't really know anything about New Jersey. Chatham, New Jersey, yeah. Can't say too much about Chatham, New Jersey. Sure, it's a nice town. DiMaria watches that one whiz by his forehead as that'll be the 4th ball, and he'll take his base. Second walk of the day for Waters. So now another freshman, a sophomore, Kyle Cortese, will be digging in for the Jumbos. Batting 5th and playing the DH today.
My first look at Cortez, I think I've been to 2 games now, but this is the first time in the lineup that I've seen him.
Yeah, not the usual DH, if I'm remembering my Tufts baseball correctly, but he'll be playing today. Sometimes with these doubleheaders, you can see some funky lineups.
Yeah, and Cortez batting .292 on the season with 5 runs batted in, so having a nice little season for himself.
Not too bad, not too bad. Pick at first base, but DiMaria is back in. DiMaria no stolen bases on the season, at least coming into this series. There'll be another ball on Cortese, so Cortese ahead in the count, 2-0.
Gotta say, I'm a big fan of these Middlebury uniforms. They really remind me of I guess the Padres probably still rock them, but they look like the early 2010 Padres uniforms.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, they're pretty clean. They got the nice script M too on the hat. I like it. First strike on Cortese, 2-1. Cortese taking all the way.
Where'd that sun go?
Just a small cloud covering it, so we'll get a little bit of a chill here.
Take a break from the sunburn just briefly.
Both Lucas and I are rather pale individuals, so we're expecting a very severe sunburn after this game. Thoughts and prayers will be appreciated. Two and one on Cortese. Waters slowing the pace down a little bit here. Pitch comes in. That's going to be a strike, and it is, so it's 2-2. Waters digging himself out of an early hole. That ball is low to make it a full count. A lot of full counts here early in this game for both teams.
Yeah, and obviously that's not great if you want to keep your pitcher out there for long into the game. Waters really dealing, though. I mean, thus far early on, still hasn't given up a hit yet.
Yeah.
But that's often one of the problems that you see in baseball is even if a pitcher is dealing, the pitch count sometimes kind of forces your hand as a coach.
Yeah, the pitcher last game for Tufts throwing close to 100 pitches, actually, the starter, until he got pulled, ironically, due to injury. Pitch comes in, the payoff pitch. That's going to be stung sharply to right field. So that'll be an easy single, stand-up single, and DiMaria will advance to second base.
Good piece of hitting by Cortez. Staying on that one, pulling it into right.
First hit of the game for the Jumbos. And now JP Knight will take the plate, playing third base today.
You know, speaking of these walk-up songs, I wonder what music app they use to get these songs. Obviously, Knight using PSA by Jay-Z, and Jay-Z
That's a pretty good walk-up song.
It's a great one, but
that's a
title
good walk-up song.
exclusive. You know, you can't find them on Spotify. So it's interesting.
I wonder if there's some maybe some illicit downloads going on in the press box here.
Is Jay-Z still title exclusive? I actually don't know.
Oh,
Is
he's
he on
gotta
Apple
be,
Music?
right?
I don't know.
I know he's not on Spotify. So Knight, the righty, swinging early, lifts that one to right field. Easy put out. So Knight swinging the bat. Of course, he had a home run last game. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Up now is the catcher and captain, Harrison Frickman. Frickman being a mainstay on this team, both on the field and in the dugout for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, and it's very clear why he is one of these captains on this team. He's very, very vocal from the dugout.
Yep.
Really leads by example as well.
Frickman batting .417 on the year. That's good for third on this Jumbo side. And a high strike called on Frickman there. But Frickman, the professional, is no complaining, just getting ready for the next pitch.
And you said earlier you like the red bat. How about the red bat, red glove duo that Frickman's rocking?
I know, those red gloves are nice. As a Red Sox fan myself, I'm partial to the red. Frickman swinging, that'll be in play straight to the first baseman there. That'll be the second out of the inning. But the runners do advance, so a productive out.
Waters is doing a nice job, obviously getting 2 outs with runners on first and second, and so far limiting the damage in this inning as he just needs one more out to get out of this inning unscathed.
Elias Varinos getting ready to bat for the Jumbos. Had an unfortunate play in the bottom of the 7th last game.
Yeah, it looked like Tufts was knocking on the door to end it, and Varinos just hit one sharply to second, the runner on first, and he got the runner on first was doubled up to send the game to extras.
Varinos takes the ball in the dirt for the first ball.
Good stop there by Bernstein, the catcher, preventing the runner from third from scoring.
Yeah, Bernstein's got to be sharp here with the man on third. Varinos a .450 average on the season. 18 runs scored. So a lot of offensive powerhouses late in the lineup for the Jumbos. Sort of a half-hearted swing at that one, and he did go, so that'll be a strike. Varinos watches one whiz by. Let's make it 2-1. Waters really staring down DiMaria on third base in between pitches here. Not in a mean-spirited way, but in a sort of just making sure he's not straying too far from the bag.
Yeah, the third baseman over there for Middlebury not playing anywhere near the bag, so DiMaria can really take as big of a lead as he wants.
Swing and a miss for Varinos. So that'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tufts would do a lot for a ball in play here with 2 outs.
And the left fielder playing further to right than we see Santos Ocampo playing for the Jumbos. So a lot of space if Varinos could pull one here.
Yeah, good job spotting that defensive shift there, Lucas.
That's why I'm here.
A swing and a miss. Varinos goes down swinging for Waters' second strikeout of the game. So 2 men left on for the Jumbos as we enter the top of the 3rd inning. Jumbos down 3-0.
Center fielder number 14, Henry Stremicki.
Center fielder Henry Stremicki leading off for the Jumbos. Scored a run last inning and hit a single. Not last inning, the first inning, excuse me. Stremicki, one of the power players, as Greeley delivers a strike for this Middlebury side. 3 home runs on the year. Goodness me. Couple ding pieces, as the kids say. Ball in the dirt, so that'll make it 1-1.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get one out of Huskins Field, as you mentioned earlier. I guess right field is the easiest way to do it, as that's 309 down the line, but straightaway center 410 and deep left is 354.
Yeah, we saw Knight sneak one right field, shortest part of the ballpark earlier today.
There's a
that ball is hit deep center field. Mills is watching it go. That ball is gone. A home run, the 4th of the year for Henry Stremicki. And that is deep, deep, deep out of here. He earned that one.
Man, I love that. I just love how, of course, as we're mentioning that it's just not going to happen, he hits an absolute bomb. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah, so maybe Henry Stremicki will credit that one to us when they're looking over the tape. So no wind, so he really just smoked that one. That was a pure home run right there. Whew. Increases Middlebury's lead to 4 as Diano digs in for the Panthers.
So Greeley early on here, obviously having his toughest outing of the season. Waters will be happy as he now has an even bigger cushion to work with on the mound.
Yeah, absolutely. Tufts is going to be sweating a little bit, trying to close the gap here.
It looks like we have action in the Jumbo's bullpen.
1-1 on Diano. Diano had an RBI, sac fly in the first inning. And that's a nice pitch. Diano watches a strike go by, low and inside. Greeley bounces another one. Lucky there wasn't men on base because that one ends up in the Tufts on-deck circle there.
Is that a conventional on-deck circle? They have 2 of those. Obviously, the hitters actually stand in these rectangles off camera. But yeah, I don't really know what these are for, to be honest.
I actually believe the one closer to the dugout is the on-deck circle, and the one closer to the batter is the warm-up circle.
There you go. That makes sense.
Greeley delivers. Strikeout. Diano goes down looking. Second K of the day for Greeley.
And a good response by him after giving up the solo shot.
The right-hander getting 2 men looking so far today. Right fielder Smith is next up for the Panthers. Hayden Smith. So Greeley kind of settling in here after the home run as he delivers another strike to Smith. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit too early. Don't want to jinx
Calling
anything.
another solo shot here.
That was a ball, but it looked pretty close to me. Gotta say, there's got to be no better feeling than hitting a home run, right?
I wouldn't know.
I mean, me neither, but you can imagine that it would feel pretty awesome, right? That ball got in on Smith there. That's going to be to the shortstop, Shackelford. That'll be an easy out, so 2 outs.
Yeah, anytime I could hit the ball into the outfield, even if it just skimmed past the dirt, I was very happy with myself. I was a big infield single guy. I was a speedster on the base, so anytime I put a ball in play, I was
laid out some bunts.
Absolutely, often getting on base.
Mm-hmm. Guild, the DH. That's Alan Guild. Flew out last inning. Ball's lifted in the outfield, going to be a difficult play. Mills coming in on it. Slides it, pops up. Santos Ocampo can't get it. He's going into second, and that'll be an unconventional double for Alan Guild. I can't imagine they'll call an error on that.
Yeah, I was tough one there. And as you mentioned, Santos Ocampo almost got there with the bare hand, but when it popped out of Mills' glove, just kind of had a little bit too much hang time on it and just flew right by Santos Ocampo's bare hand. And so Greeley, after kind of settling down after the home run, back in trouble with 2 outs here.
Yeah, tough play. Kind of got it into no man's land there. We almost thought we were going to see a circus play there, but we did not. So man on second base with 2 outs is Ryan Hanrahan, the first baseman. Gets ready for the pitch from Greeley. And that'll be an easy put out from Shackelford to DeMaria for the 3rd out of the inning. Greeley pretty stoic coming off the mound. 1 hit, 1 man left on, 1 run for Middlebury as we enter the bottom of the 3rd. Tufts down 4-0. Welcome back, folks. The shortstop, Will Shackelford, getting ready for Waters, just putting together a pretty nice outing so far today.
Absolutely, just 1 hit through 2. No runs yet.
Shackelford, one of the senior captains on this team, has been a starter since his freshman year, I believe, and is quite the impressive fielder. Shackelford, affectionately called Shaq by his teammates. I always thought that was a pretty cool nickname. I always thought. Waters delivers a low ball to even up the count 1-1. Shackelford batting out of the 9 spot for the Jumbos, so we'll be back at the top of the order this inning. Ball a touch inside, so it'll be 2-1. Shackelford, Orleans, Massachusetts native.
All right, show off that Mass town knowledge that you said you have. Let's go.
Orleans, as Waters delivers, and he's going to smoke that one to the second baseman, Hennings. Hennings to Hanrahan, and that'll be an easy out. Didn't even get to flex my Orleans knowledge, the extent of which is that I know it's on Cape Cod, and that's about it. So Shackelford retired for the 1st out of the inning, and we'll be back up to the top of the order for Justin Mills. Justin Mills on base once so far this afternoon with a walk in the 1st inning. Oye Como Va, his walk-up song by the legendary Santana. Waters rifles one in there for a strike. Mills almost had that nice play at the top of this inning as a ball comes in to make it 1-1. Had a diving play on a ball in shallow center, and it popped right out of his glove. Ball is up and outside to make it 2-1. So, let's say Waters pitching a good game, but A lot of hitters counts we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Tufts just hasn't really taken advantage. We'll see if Mills is able to here.
Ball poked foul. Might be a play on it. Can't knock him for effort, but Diano couldn't get there. It's a really shallow foul territory in right field there.
Not a lot of space there as the jumbo bullpen is. There's a lot of obstacles out there, whereas in left it's just a lot of open green grass.
Right. I mean, come on, Medford, Somerville. Property prices are insane. Yeah, cut corners somewhere, right?
Tell me about it.
The count is an even 2-2. Mills just staying alive there, pokes that one out towards the fans and third base line.
The classic emergency hack.
Little late on it and just poked a foul. I think it was an off-speed pitch. Mills waiting for the next pitch. Here it comes, and a swing and a miss. No drop, third strike there, and that'll be a swinging strikeout. Third of the day for Waters. So although he fell behind with a couple balls, Waters still able to put out the junior.
No, not a great at-bat from Mills. That pitch was pretty obvious to be a ball from the get-go, and I think Mills is very upset of himself as he was walking back to the dugout.
Ryan Day 0-1 on the day. Am I right?
Just don't do that again, please.
Ball comes in, it's low. So Day will take a hitter's count at 1-0. Day, a graduate of the prestigious Governor's Academy. A rival school of mine when I was in high school. That ball too high, so Waters maybe trying to change the eye level of Day, ends up falling behind 2-0.
As you mentioned, another hitter's count. But Waters has done a nice job to work back thus far in this game.
Yep. He can battle. Waters can battle. And there it is, a strike to make it 2-1. You wouldn't guess it, but I'm sure you mentioned this earlier in the day, but 3.6 ERA for Waters, which isn't eye-poppingly low. He delivers another pitch that Day fouls off. Make it 2-2. But today is really looking like an ace.
Yeah, and I suppose the more impressive stat is a strikeout to walk ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Before this game, it was 18 Ks to 10 walks. So really pretty good at not really falling behind hitters too often, it appears, although that hasn't really been the story thus far today.
3 Ks, 2 walks in the day, although one of those walks ended up with a caught stealing. That was of Waters' doing. Payoff pitch comes to Mills. Comes to Day. I think he got a piece of that. So stays alive with 2 outs, no men on.
We got some big clouds forming above, so might have a couple moments of no sunshine, which is something that we haven't been used to so far in this game. Still a perfect day, though.
Yeah, it's truly. Not for Tufts, though. Day pops that one up mile high and out of bounds.
Out of bounds? What is this, basketball?
I always feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over, so I try to switch up the
I feel that
vocabulary
too.
a little bit.
But then you say it and you sound really dumb sometimes.
Right, so maybe I should just play it safe. Tufts on the precipice of another 1-2-3 inning.
It's a tough play.
Yeah, I don't think there's a play there. There's not.
As we mentioned earlier, Middlebury playing pretty close to right center, out and left, so that eliminated any shot at getting that ball in foul territory.
Yeah, that's rich in left field there, and you're right. They do play that shift. Smith gave it all he could, but just wasn't a play. Day continues to stay alive here. Certainly not going down without a fight.
I suppose in D3 baseball, hitters haven't really developed enough tendencies to warrant a full-on shift that you might see in the pros, but a slight shift, as you mentioned, nonetheless.
Yeah, you know, as Day takes another ball to have the count run full there. Talking to just in conversations I've had with some of my friends who play D3 baseball, it's still a very intense film study. You still know the profile of every player, and the coaching staff is just so well staffed. As Day's going to walk there, so he battles back to get a walk and gets a round of applause from his teammates in the dugout. So we mentioned walks being a little bit of an issue for Waters in the season. Maybe coming back to haunt him in this game so far. 3 walks on the day. Casey Santos Ocampo. Can't ID his walk-up song. It just sounds like some ambiguous remix of some pop song.
That song would be Let It All Work Out by Lil Wayne off his most recent The Carter album. I believe he's up to, what, the Carter 5?
No, I thought it was more now, isn't it? Maybe not. I feel like you would know more than I would.
Came out in October, I believe.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that was the Carter 5. Ocampo, that ball was taller than he was for the first ball.
Good message there. Maybe one that the Jumbo should listen to this afternoon. Just got to let it all work out, man. Still got, what, 7 innings? 6 innings left?
6 innings left, just about. So really only in the first third of the game here. Ocampo takes a hack at that one. He's going to knock it into left field. Day's going to turn. Oh, I thought he had an idea there. So Ocampo with a single. And maybe a little 2-out magic for the Jumbos here with a man on first and second. And Di Maria at the plate.
Yeah, if you're Waters, this is not the man you want stepping into the box. Obviously, Di Maria, as we've mentioned time and time again so far in this broadcast, really is the Jumbo's perhaps most lethal offensive weapon. And he has a real opportunity here to do some damage with 21 runs batted on the season, looking to add to that total here.
Yeah, strong guy, 6'1", 6'2", actually, 210 pounds. So.
Yeah, and wind is blowing out of the park.
Oh yeah, that one's kind of picked up. You're right.
Maybe it'll carry it a little bit.
So Di Maria looking to bully a baseball here. Waters delivers. Good take by Di Maria. That was a good pitch by Waters. Thought it would have maybe nicked the corner, but it's going to be ball 1.
Be interesting to see here with Waters. As you mentioned, these players certainly scout their opponents. Obviously, Di Maria is the guy you don't want to face, but not really regular, and Cortez is on deck, so perhaps you pitch a little carefully here to the Jumbo's leading offensive weapon.
Of course, freshman a little bit more difficult to pitch to, as Waters does just that, and Di Maria battles one off into the parking lot, going for our van.
Our van's a lost cause already. Shout out to the van, though.
If you are a Tufts regular or come by campus often, you will see the JumboCast van in the parking lot, a van that has not been driven in close to 2 years
If you've ever seen the van in motion on the road, then that's just a sign you're old.
It's like seeing a unicorn. Di Maria 1-1, smacks one to center field. It's going to get Stremecki on his back hind legs there. And that'll be out 3. So 2 men left on. A lot of men left on for the Jumbos so far today. And still a 4-run deficit between the two teams. We'll be back for the top of the 4th. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading off for Middlebury will be Ryan Hanrahan, the first baseman. Hanrahan taking a walk in the second inning today. And we'll see, even though there was some action in the Tufts bullpen last inning, Greeley will stay out to battle. Hanrahan swinging early at the first pitch. Santos Ocampo is back. He should have a play on this one. And he does, so 1 pitch, 1 out for Greeley as Hanrahan is retired.
If Greeley wants to keep going in this game, he will certainly take that result.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next is Rich. Nope, is Bernstein. Bernstein is single earlier today, and an RBI, I might add. So 2 pitches and 2 outs, an efficient inning for Greeley as he takes care of the bottom of the lineup there.
Yeah, no, Hennings stepping in. I mean, if you're Hennings, you certainly cannot swing at the first pitch. Even if he just gives you a meatball right over the center, you just can't risk having a 3-pitch inning if you're Middlebury.
Back to the top of the order is the second baseman, Hennings. Digging in for the Panthers. One of the few Panthers to actually not get on base so far today. An unusual statistic for the player with the highest average on Middlebury. Greeley below the bottom third of the strikeout zone, or the strike zone. So it'll be 1-0. Panthers an impressive 11-5. I guess that'll be 11-6 after this morning's result. Oh, hit the side of a car there in the parking lot, something we always like to keep track of. I think that's the first one to strike a car so far today. Dangerously close to a pretty nice-looking Porsche in the parking lot there.
Brutal, the game I did last week, and a Porsche was just strolling down the parking lot as his pitch is low and outside. Porsche was just casually rolling, trying to find a spot, and ball missed it by a couple inches. I mean,
whew, that would have been dangerous.
Not great if you're an owner of a Porsche to be parking out here.
Although you do imagine that they would probably have the funds sufficient to replacing whatever windshield they need to get replaced. That ball is struck right field line, and it's going to be just foul. That would have been extra bases if it managed to hook into fair territory. Luckily, if you're a Jumbos fan, it did not. So it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hennings.
Tufts has scored 4 runs or more in all but one of their games this year, so 4-run deficit perhaps not insurmountable.
No kidding, huh? Impressive offense for the Jumbos so far this season, except for today. But who knows, still early in this game, as we mentioned. Greeley looking to put away Hennings here. That ball fought into the outfield again. Mills is calling for it. And he gets there for the 3rd out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Greeley. I think we'll just stay on in between innings here, as I just wanted to take a moment to thank the JumboCast squad that worked the first game, and thank the squad that's with us today. Of course, you, Lucas, as well as our cameraman, Zach Eskenazi, one of the many freshmen in the JumboCast team, and our director, Trevor Russo, who is taking over directorial duties today. So, you know, JumboCast, the team sport, just wanted to give some props to my fellow teammates as this game continues.
Yeah, it's a perfect day to be out here with the guys. I mean, as we mentioned time and time again, you really couldn't ask for better weather. Obviously, it's always fun to be out here on the JumboCast, but when it's raining and 25-mile-per-hour winds, it can be a little miserable at times. But
yep,
I think we've reached that point in the semester where hopefully the super cold days are gone behind us, and we've got this nice month-and-a-half stretch or so of just some nice days to really enjoy the Boston area weather.
Yeah, if you think we're talking too much about it, it has been, although not a snowy winter here in Boston, it has been a cold winter. We didn't really have any warm days in March that I can remember. Maybe a couple days crept into the 50s, but
I feel like the wind has been. Obviously, Tufts is known for its wind, but I feel like it's been an especially windy semester.
It really has, actually.
Yeah, I don't really know what's up with that.
Yeah.
I'm not a meteorologist, or I don't even know. Do they study that stuff? I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, the weather up north, where Middlebury's locale, is a little bit worse. Still a pretty generous amount of snow up in the northern states. A softball series got rescheduled. Tufts was supposed to go out to play Bowdoin this weekend, but instead Bowdoin got called down here. So Tufts, although playing at Spicer Field just across the lawn there, was technically the away team today in their series, which they split with Bowdoin 1-1.
Wow, imagine being the away team imagine being the home team on the Tufts field. I mean, that's just the double whammy. It's not even a neutral site. It's really unfortunate.
Kyle Cortez, the designated hitter, getting ready. Cortez with a single in the second inning. I know, that's got to be a weird feeling. They were wearing their home jerseys, too. It was weird to see. Yeah.
Well, here's
Cortez, 2 quick strikes.
Here's your unnecessary home and away fact that nobody asked me to say and no one cares about, but humongous G League Finals fan here, as the Long Island Nets are in it. And they would have home court advantage, but there was an event already scheduled on their home court, some other event, because apparently G League basketball is not important, which fair
like
enough.
like a concert or something,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which fair enough, I guess it's not really. But so they will have to be the home team at, I believe, Stony Brook University.
Oh, wow.
So still more local for them than the away team, but Cortez smacks that one foul.
So it's more common than you'd think, I guess.
Shout out to the Long Island Nets. Literally no one probably knows anything about them. Fair enough.
We get a Delta Airlines flight flying right over us. Of course, we're not too far from East Boston, the home of Logan Airport. So you get a couple airplanes pretty close to the ground here. Waters trying to put away Cortez here. Cortez smacks into the third baseman Smith, and Smith to Hanrahan, and that'll be a fundamental out there. It's the old 5-3 put out.
Yeah, Cortez didn't really get much behind it. Kind of just poked it out to the third baseman. And I thought he might have had a chance to beat it.
I thought so too. Yeah, Smith
that
was
a bit of a lazy throw by Smith, but
yeah, Smith was playing towards the line, so he had sort of a hard turn there. But well played, and a good dig by Hanrahan. Of course, in other tough sports news, the women's lacrosse team remains undefeated on the season with a win over Wesleyan University, 17-10. JP Knight getting ready for the pitch from Waters, which will be another strike. So Waters delivering a lot of strikes in this inning. Had two quick ones on Cortez and another quick one on Knight. Knight flew out to the center fielder in the second inning. Won't do so now as he smacks one into shallow center field. And that'll be an easy single for Knight. First hit of the day. Up next is the captain, Frickman. 0 for 1 on the day, although doing a good job behind the plate. A couple of Greeley's pitches that have found the dirt have been well handled by Frickman so far today. Frickman down from Charleston, South Carolina. City I've always wanted to visit. So he watches the ball. You ever been down there?
I have not. I haven't really been down south too often. I did have to go to Miami this past summer to get my visa.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, to get my visa for when I studied abroad this past semester. But other than that, more of an up north kind of guy.
Waters looks to keep Knight on base. Something that Middlebury has been very careful with so far today. Sun poking its head back out as Frickman gets ready for the 1-0. I think he fouled that one off to make it 1-1. So the only people left here at the athletic complex are baseball fans. It was pretty lively earlier this morning. No, not so much. Kind of died out. Frickman smacks one to the left field line. The left fielder, Rich, has a long way to go, which will give time to get to third base. Hits the cutoff man, and that'll be a double for Frickman. So that shift comes back to bite them as Frickman gets a stand-up double.
Tufts in business here. They need to capitalize on this. Waters has pitched such a great game thus far. Obviously, he had an inning earlier where it was first and second, nobody out, and he was able to work through it. So big one here for Varinos as he steps in, looking to maybe get some revenge as far as what happened to him in the last game where he had that really unfortunate double play to send the game in extra innings.
I can't imagine they'll intentionally walk him here, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Especially with Shackelford on deck.
So it's 2 men in scoring position with only one out. And a first pitch strike again from Waters. Has done so to every batter so far this inning. Oh. Some aggressive honking in the parking lot. Varinos.
And it's coming for him.
Oh, it's coming for him. Oh, man, that would have been crazy.
Oh, and it got the Porsche.
That would have been wild.
It skipped the Porsche's bumper. Hate to see it. Or maybe you love to see it. I don't know if you're a car guy or not.
My first car was a 2004 Ford Escape. Ran that thing into the ground.
Very nice.
Yeah. 0-2 Varinos has. So he'll be struggling to stay alive in Bernstein has to jump to catch that one. 1 and 2. I think Waters was just trying to get him to chase there. Waters looks down to Varinos and delivers. Ball's in the dirt. Well stopped by Bernstein. Good defensive catcher play on both sides today.
Absolutely. We haven't, even when no one's on base, we haven't really seen that many balls skip by. And they're having a fair amount of balls in the dirt from both Greeley and Waters. So as you mentioned, nice job behind the dish.
So the count is now even on Varinos. Varinos smacks him down the first base side. It gets through. Hanrahan couldn't get his glove on it. 1 run scores. A second run is going as that ball is dribbling into the outfield, and that'll be a 2 RBI single for Elias Varinos. 4-2, Middlebury still in the lead.
Not sure what happened there with Hanrahan. That's where his coach is going to get on him for not getting in front of that ball. He certainly had the time to move his body laterally to get in front of that one. Instead, he went for the backhand, and the ball skipped under his glove. And that's where Tufts was running from third all the way, so they were going to score either way. But with that ball getting into right field, that results in a second run coming in for Tufts.
That's got to be frustrating for Waters, who's up 0-2 on Varinos.
Perhaps a little bit of poetic justice for Varinos as he now has a bit of fortune go his way in this game.
That's right, but Tufts still down 2 as Will Shackelford gets ready for the pitch. Of course, emulating, you have to imagine Shackelford, a Massachusetts native, is a Red Sox fan, emulating Andrew Benintendi's walk-up song. Waters delivers, Shackelford swings, and the ball is hit to the backstop.
Knock the home plate ump's mask off, actually. He's going to need a moment.
Just taking a second. Bernstein will go talk to his pitcher to give the ump a minute to get a little less shaken up. Do you have like a number you wore in sports?
Yeah, I actually mentioned that in my broadcast last week. I believe, and I hope I get this right because he was my favorite player, but I wore number 2 for a while in honor of the great Ty Wigginton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
2's a good look.
I like 2. I think if I had to choose today, I'd be number 7.
Why is that?
I was a big Jose Reyes guy, big Joe Johnson guy with the Nets. So.
Oh, that's right. 3-point contest winner.
That's Joe Harris.
Joe Harris, sorry. Mixed up my Joes. That ball sneaks by Bernstein. Varinos, I think, was already off and running, but he'll get the stolen base. Or I think it'll go down as a wild pitch.
I think he got a good jump. I don't know if he was going to go, but it's the second time today us in the booth have kind of cursed the team.
I know.
I didn't
even realize.
With the home run talk, and now we're just talking about the stellar catcher play back there. But
yeah, I really got to close my mouth, huh?
Just have a silent broadcast. If you guys would like to hear that, feel free to comment, although we will not be complying.
If you're a Phil Bernstein fan or a Middlebury fan in general, I do apologize. Now there's a man on second and only 1 out. Scoring position for Shackelford. Shackelford takes the second ball. So we see a freight train going by.
I suppose it's
that's interesting, huh?
Commuter rail it wouldn't run on a weekend, would it?
No, it wouldn't. Although that is where they're putting the Green Line extension, right?
I really don't keep up with that news, considering it's not going to benefit us. That's true. It's going to come in, I believe, a couple months after us juniors graduate.
That's a shame.
Certainly is.
Shackelford takes a hack at it, but dings it foul. Count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, this is one of the negatives about Tufts University. I feel like a lot of people believe it's essentially in Boston, but if we want to get to Boston, it is a pretty nice walk. I mean, I live relatively close to a T-stop, but that entails about a 10-minute walk. That's what close is for Tufts students. Yeah,
my older brother lives in Mission Hill, which is geographically only about 6 miles away from Somerville, where I live. And it takes me on public transportation about 45 minutes to get there. Waters delivers the 2-2. Shackelford hits it smartly to right field. And a fantastic play by Diano in right field. A heroic diving play. Doesn't get much prettier than that.
Yeah, full extension, it seemed like he kind of dove very late. It seemed like he was just going to sit on that one and kind of make a routine catch. It might have tailed away from him at the very end, but really nice job adjusting and making the grab. That was trouble if it got down as Varinos was getting ready to score. 2 outs for Mills, who has a walk and a strikeout so far today.
has yet to get himself on the base paths. Or, excuse me.
The center fielder number
Oh, I see. He was caught stealing after his walk. Oh, interesting.
That's right. He got picked off.
Yeah, I forgot about that play. Blame my messy handwriting for that one. Waters delivers to Mills, which is a strike. First pitch strikes have really benefited Waters so far this inning. Bruno's and Waters making eye contact there. Mills takes a swing, can't connect. Mills down 0-2.
See if he chokes up on the bat here. That's one of those fundamental things they teach you. Don't really see it that often, at least in the professional levels. It's kind of nice to see when you do.
You know who's a big choke up guy is Joey Votto.
Really?
Yeah, he chokes way up on the bat. That ball is high. Mills doesn't offer.
I feel like Joey Votto is one of those forgotten guys. Really had a nice stretch there in the early 2010s, I guess the late 2000s as well. But he's still around with his original team, the Cincinnati Reds. He's still going. I guess perhaps people don't really like him for his personality, but
yeah, does have kind of that personality. But yeah, his statistics are pretty crazy. Mills takes another healthy hack, can't connect. Stays alive at 1-2. It's pretty evenly spread between both teams. Middlebury has 6 and Tufts has 5. Of course, Middlebury has the benefit of the home run earlier in the game. Ball's way outside. Evens the count at 2-2.
yeah, I thought Waters might continue with those high fastballs as Mills kind of chased a couple that seemed like they were upstairs out of the zone.
Yep.
That one missed badly though, so no chance he's going to swing at that.
Yeah, that wasn't really that close. Mills from the heartland of America, Highland Park, Illinois. Dings that one to the infield. Hanrahan is there. It's going to be close at first. And I don't think Waters got the bag. Waters missed the bag, and so it'll be runners at the corners. It was a good play by Hanrahan, but Waters with those long legs just couldn't get a foot on the bag.
Yeah, and good job by Mills really hustling right out of the box, and that made Waters really kind of rush to get over there. And he was watching the ball the whole way, didn't really see where he was in relation to the first base bag, and he just missed it.
So that'll actually be called an error on the pitcher. It will not be scored as a hit.
I think that's the right call.
I think so too.
So Tufts in business here.
Yeah, of course, sac fly not in play with 2 outs. But, Day can swing the bat.
The right fielder number 23, Ryan Day.
If you can go opposite field, as we mentioned time and time again, there's a lot of space out there, and Mills has some speed over there on first.
I know, it's just such a big left field. With potential to roll into foul territory as well if you can really get it in the right angle.
I don't think I'd expect Mills to be going here, but he does have 2 stolen bases on the season.
Waters getting ready for the 1-0. That'll be a strike right down the plate. Off-speed pitch. That'll even the count at 1-1.
I just looked at my forearms already a little bit. Looking like a lobster out here a little bit.
You getting some color? I think we got
Feel
some
that one tomorrow.
The back of your neck is looking pretty red, my friend.
There we go. Very nice.
Day watches another pitch go by. I thought it was going to be a strike, but it is called a ball. Of course, the umpire has a better angle than I do. So regarding the Tufts hats, have they always had the American flag print on the Jumbo logo? Or is
I don't
that
think
new
they.
this
I
year?
think in past years they've had that as an alternate, but it certainly hasn't been their main.
Yeah. Dave fouls one off home plate.
I see a lot of those though. I don't know if it's exclusive to the baseball team. I believe a couple other sports also rock the American flag, kind of embedded in their logo.
Good to know.
My sources, of course, being nobody. Just my own observation.
My own conjecture. Yep. Day swings and misses, but the ball is dropped. He scored a drop third strike, but it'll be a strikeout. And Waters stays alive. Tufts scoring twice in the inning on the back of a Verinos single. But we are going into the top of the 5th, so this game moving right along. So we will talk to you when the inning starts.
Scheduled to bat for Middlebury in the top of the 5th inning. Brooks, Carroll, Henry's, Mickey, and
So welcome back. We have the 2-3-4 hitters for the Panthers, starting off with Brooks Carroll. Carroll, a strikeout and advance on an error so far today. And that one is hit directly to Verinos, so 1 pitch, 1 out again for Greeley. Greeley having a pretty efficient inning and a third here.
the center fielder, number 14, Henry Stromicki.
Henry Stromicki has a dinger on the day in the 3rd inning. So Greeley will have to be extra careful here. There's a strike on a breaking pitch. Stromicki, another Connecticut native. Not sure if I've mentioned this so far today. From Wilton, Connecticut. Of course, my Connecticut geography is not very sharp, so I can't tell you where that is. Ball's about an inch above the dirt to even the count of 1-1. You know what I like is those throwback Tufts baseball pullovers. Do you see that?
The
That the
jackets?
coaches are wearing? Yeah, the
oh,
jackets.
yeah, those are very nice.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. That'll be strike 2 on Stromicki, so Greeley ahead 1-2 here.
I think anything throwback is nice, although I suppose there is a limit. I don't know how I feel about the MLB. I think they do the Negro League uniforms for everyone. Some of those with the extremely baggy pants kind of look a little silly.
Yeah, although I will say, that pitch got away from Greeley. Skids all the way to the outfield. I think it's the Kansas City Monarchs, if I'm not mistaken. Those are pretty cool.
There's certainly some nice ones. It's just a matter of, I guess the style back then was not the style it is today, so it's a little bit unusual.
Right. That ball is going to strike Stromicki right in the back. So that's tough. Had 2 strikes on him, ends up hitting him in the back. First hit by pitch today. So Stromicki will get to first base. Feel compelled to mention that Tufts, that's sort of Tufts' MO on the offensive MO on the season. They average about a little over 2 struck batters per game. An unusually high number.
And here's our first substitution pinch hitter of the day. Looks like it's going to be Sam Graff coming today. The batting gloveless Sam Graff. I was going to ask that earlier when I was talking about, what was I talking about? I don't really remember what I was talking about. But we don't really see too many players, going without the batting gloves.
No, you see Blake Swihart do it. Is the one that comes to me in the major leagues, but certainly not in the minor leagues. Or, excuse me, in D3, which I guess is the ultra minor leagues.
I think Hunter Pence is a big one, too. I believe he doesn't really go with the gloves anymore.
Sam Graff, a senior from Loma, Colorado. He'll be replacing Diano, who made that spectacular play in right field.
And, I did hear a Middlebury player came over to the Tufts dugout just about a minute ago asking for some ice from one of the trainers. I wonder if Diano might be hurt from that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That was a real big extension. He hit the ground pretty hard. He got off and ran, like it was no big deal.
Actually, no, it was Diano who came over to ask for the ice, so perhaps he's
asking
doing it
for himself.
There you go. I think we just solved that one.
Greeley sort of falls down after that pitch, but it might help out as that's going to be Stremecki that swipes a base. So Stremecki doing it all today. Sent one over the fence and stole a base. So men in scoring position for Graf. Colorado, not a huge baseball scene in Colorado.
It's not. Once the Rockies start winning, maybe it'll pick up, but Rockies still a relatively young franchise.
Greeley going for the pick on second base there. I think Middlebury has like 8 stolen bases on the day.
It seems like it. They've been very aggressive on the base pass. Anything in the dirt when someone's on, it seems like they're taking off.
Yeah, seriously.
And Tufts hasn't really done much to prevent them from doing so. Until they can kind of limit them, I think Middlebury's going to keep going.
Yeah. Graf lifts one. Left field, left center field. Ocampo back. Got it. Looked like Stremecki thought about tagging there. But he retreats back to second base. And that'll go down as an out for Graf. I imagine Graf will be taking over defensive duties. But we'll keep you updated if he isn't. Nevertheless, the third baseman, Hayden Smith, is at the plate for Middlebury. Smith has a single today, has also flown out to the shortstop. Greeley from the stretch. First pitch swinging. Yeah, and Mills plays that on the hop, and that'll actually score a run as Stremecki was extremely swift around 2 bases there. That was hit really quickly to center field, and Stremecki still managed to score to make it 5-2 Middlebury.
Yeah, Mills thought he might have a play there if he dove on that ball, but it was certainly out of his reach. I think he got a good jump. There's just nothing he could do there. Didn't matter if he just let it hop in front of him, but he went for the dive. Fortunate for him, it didn't get by him.
Yeah. Good base running by Stremecki there. Got to give props. Second hit of the day for Hayden Smith now as Alan Guild digs in.
And we continue to see action in the Jumbo bullpen. I can't imagine Greeley's going to go much longer, as obviously this is a tough outing for him, obviously coming in with a 0 ERA in the season. That will certainly change, although one of these runs is unearned. I believe the first one he gave up.
That's right, yeah. 4 earned runs, 5 total runs through 4 and 2/3 innings pitched, if I'm not mistaken. Not the best outing for the junior right-hander. Guild a double on the day. Knocks that one foul towards the Frisbee players. Shout out to Will Burgess, quick out of the dugout to shag that ball. It's a good jog there. Greeley working with a 1-2 count. Looks back to Smith at first base. Greeley ready to deliver. That ball is knocked shallow left field. Santos Ocampo. Runners will hold, and that'll be first and second. So second hit of the day for the designated hitter, Guild.
Can't imagine Greeley's got too much more lead on his leash. I got to imagine Tufts thinking about pulling him pretty soon. It might just be a matter of whether or not the guy in the bullpen is ready to go.
Yeah, you have to imagine there's still plenty of innings left to play in this game, and not a huge deficit. Only 3 runs, although there is a man in scoring position. With 2 outs here as Hanrahan digs in. Hanrahan a walk on the day, scored a run.
And as you mentioned, this is a huge out for Greeley to get. I mean, a 3-run deficit is much more manageable than a 4-run deficit.
Right.
Obviously, it hasn't been his greatest game, but he can go out with his head held high if he can get this guy out right here.
Yeah, mentally, too, just getting out of this inning. Ball is smacked to left field. It's back, and it's gone! A 3-run shot for Hanrahan, and that'll increase Middlebury's lead. Second home run of the day for the Panthers. That ball was shot like a rocket over the left field fence.
Absolutely crushed. No doubt about that one.
No doubter. Santos Ocampo just watched it go by. Round of applause from the Panthers fans. And Hanrahan with 3 RBI.
So I suppose now Tufts just going to let Greeley, with a deficit now being 6, kind of just get through this one. This is his inning to get through. Perhaps maybe if there's more trouble on the bases, that'll change. But
yeah, I mean, we keep doing this. We keep saying things that end up not
Apologies.
being true a minute later.
This one wasn't as bad as the previous 2. We'll say that.
As Alec Rich takes a strike. Grounds to the shortstop Shackelford. Close play, but an out. So Greeley gets out of the inning, allowing 4 runs, no men left on base. I do feel compelled to mention that this game will end if the sun sets, although we still have a little under 2 hours. Yeah, and we're about halfway there. No runners left on base, and we will be back at the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Santos Ocampo leading off for the Jumbos here, bottom of the 5th inning.
Shout out to our lovely viewers and the ones who comment on our commentating.
Of course. Always good to have that support in the chat, in the comment section.
To the commenter who thought I spelled my name with a K, perhaps you're just mistaken by all the strikeouts you've seen so far today.
Oh, good one. Santos Ocampo swings hard at that one, lifted way up. It's gone! A home run for Santos Ocampo on the first pitch he sees. Rich turned around, thought he might have had a play on it, but that ball is over the left field fence. Santos Ocampo will touch them all.
That's how you get back in this game. I mean, it takes 6 runs there down. That makes the deficit 5. Got to go 1 run at a time, and that's where the wind is blowing out towards left field. So, that's the wind certainly helped out there. I don't know if that wind's blown in, he might not have had the same result, but big fly for Santos Ocampo. He'll be happy with that result, no doubt about it.
Santos Ocampo only 5'9", but that is his 3rd home run in the season. So don't let his his diminutive stature fool you. He can swing a bat. A pitching change for the Panthers. So Waters will step out with 3 earned runs over 4+ innings pitched.
Looks like we are going to have Alex Rosario towing the rubber for Middlebury.
What can you tell us about Rosario?
Rosario, the 5'10", 230-pound pitcher from Windsor, Connecticut. He is 0-1 on the season, 9.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 9 strikeouts, sporting a .93 ERA, a lefty.
9 strikeouts and 9 1/3 innings pitched. He'll be stepping in with a 5-run lead.
And you know what? That's a pitching change, I believe. So, it's time for everyone's favorite JumboCast segment.
Oh, what's that?
It is This Day in Baseball History. Owen, This day in 2015, the great franchise, the New York Mets, sent out Bartolo Colon as their opening day starter. Obviously, Bartolo Colon, a legend in New York, but it made the fans kind of unhappy at the time as they had Matt Harvey, who is still good out there as well, and Jacob deGrom. But nonetheless, the great Bartolo Colon got the nod for the Mets.
I believe he had a brief stint on the Red Sox as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he? I think you might be right. Just a year or two, maybe.
Another Connecticut native, Rosario is. We saw a little bit of drama in the first game with the pitching change. There was an injury to the starter, and they had to pull a pitcher out of the dugout, or excuse me, the bullpen, to get my terminology correct. Tufts did. The rule being that in the event of an injury, the relief pitcher gets as many warm-ups as they like. Middlebury wasn't too happy with that. So a little bit more of a drama-free pitching change here in the 5th inning of the second game. First batter Rosario face is not an easy task as Di Maria digs in.
Sort of interesting time to pull Waters. Obviously, as first pitch is skipped in the dirt. Obviously, he kind of was having a bit of struggles towards the end of his outing, but by and large, he had a pretty productive day. 3 runs on, I guess, 4 innings.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that one home run that really prompted the pitching change.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised as first strike comes in to make the count 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a pitch count thing. Save Waters' arms. He pitches a lot of innings, and he was getting pretty up there in pitches. Breaking pitch for the second strike.
Yeah, and with Middlebury having already lost earlier this afternoon, they really want to salvage one here at Huskins Field. So if you're thinking about maybe just leaving them out there to get some outs, you really want to get this win no matter who it takes.
Grounded to the third baseman to Hanrahan. That'll be an easy out. It'll be Cortez, the designated hitter. So Rosario really getting the heart of the Jumbos lineup.
5'10", 230 pounds. Not really the stature you think of when you think of pitchers.
No, but he's effective.
Although I suppose I just brought up the great Bartolo Colon. To be fair, though, I don't really know what his official listings are.
Worth mentioning, too, Rosario is a freshman as well. I always respect freshman pitchers.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's such a hard task.
Just missed. That's a great sign of confidence, too, from the coaches. Sometimes with these pitchers especially, it takes them a little bit of time at the collegiate level to get used to the game, but Coach certainly has confidence in this guy.
Rosario likes to work quick, too. Already throwing 3 pitches this at-bat. Cortez ahead 3-0. Rosario fires one in for a strike. Ball's battled into the outfield, has a chance of falling down. It does. Rich was on his horse, couldn't get there in time, and that'll go down as a single for Cortez.
Put some English on that one. I mean, I think that's a crazy topspin on it. I think he honestly just barely made contact, but strong swing, and that one ends up in shallow left for a base hit.
Next up for the Jumbos is J.P. Knight, who had a single last inning. J.P. Knight, a Boston native, graduate of the very prestigious Roxbury Latin, the oldest high school in America.
Is that so?
It is. Quick strike for Rosario on Knight. So are you a fan of the high pants look or the low pants look?
Oh, high pants. Well, I suppose it depends on the socks you're trying to show off and how it fits with the rest of the uniform.
Rosario delivers a ball.
For Tufts, I definitely like the high sock look that Knight's got going on.
Yeah, they've got the stirrups.
Yeah, they got the nice stripes on them for Middlebury. I kind of like the gray with the navy blue look, and I think the blue socks almost kind of detract from that in a way.
Breaking pitch for a second strike. Nice strike there from Rosario.
I suppose at the end of the day, it just comes down to whatever's most comfortable for the player.
That's what's most important, right? Rosario with one out. Gets him looking. Rosario with a quick strikeout. That was a beautiful. Those were two beautiful pitches back to back to strike out JP Knight.
Yeah, it's no real secret why head coach Mike Leonard has so much confidence in his relief pitcher here, the freshman. He's making some quick work in the jumpers.
Impressive, yeah. So us being both being juniors, are we allowed to call freshman kid? Like, this kid's really doing great out there?
I just use kid as a nickname. You know, I think of Ken Griffey or Gary Carter, so I call anyone kid. Doesn't matter if you're 50 years old, I'll still call you kid. That's not true.
High strike. Didn't really look like Frickman disagreed with it. A little shake of the head there. But again, Frickman not one to argue with the umpires. So 0-1 to the senior as Rosario gets ready to deliver the second pitch. Frickman fouls it off.
Took a big rip there. He's not getting cheated up there.
Frickman down 0-2 quickly. Just a matter of minutes, the sun might sneak behind the press box, Lucas.
See, I don't know. That'd be nice for the eyes, but it is a little chilly now.
Ball is high. Rosario pounding the high zone there.
Although perhaps the sunburn's already a sunk cost at this point. It's going to happen either way. So, but we'll get a nice little relief from the sun for a little bit.
Rosario delivers. Frickman picked up the breaking ball, sat back on it. It's in the dirt. Rosario's got that nasty 12-6 curve. There's a lot of movement on that ball.
Runner goes.
Runner goes. It's a hit and run. Not executed by Frickman as he knocks that one foul.
Big fan of the hit and run.
Beautiful play.
Although, to be fair, if Frickman can just work full count, then hit and run is just going to, well, I suppose the runner will be going either way, so perhaps a bit dangerous in this spot, but still a fan of the aggressive base running. Especially you need to manufacture runs any way you can.
Certainly. Frickman calls time. Rosario delivers anyways. That's actually the first batter timeout we've seen so far today.
Yeah, and Rosario's got such a quick motion that he wasn't able to stop his delivery. The ball gets out of his hand very quickly from the second he starts his motion.
Yeah. Rosario ready to go right away. Delivers just high. Rosario thought he got him.
And now Cortez will be in motion.
Yep.
So anything in the gap, probably going to score a run for the Jumbos with Cortez getting a nice head start.
That one's on the infield, but there might be a play. Tough throw. Henderhead's off the bag. Hit Frickman in the, looks like the upper body, maybe the face. Ball skidded to the right field side, and that was a strange play. Frickman is down.
Cortez had a hole up at third, so no run scores. But yeah, Frickman, I don't know if the ball hit him. He took a tumble. I think he kind of twisted his ankle maybe on the bag, but he waves off the trainer saying he's all right.
Yeah, so Hanrahan had to come off the bag. It was a bit of an errant throw from Smith, the third baseman. Hanrahan getting Frickman in what looked like the collarbone area with his elbow. Frickman goes down, and the ball skids away. So Hanrahan, good sportsmanship there, saying sorry to Frickman. Frickman says it's all right. Waved off the medical staff, saying he's just fine. Frickman, one of the tougher players on this roster.
Man, he'll certainly sacrifice a slight bruise or something like that to stay on base here and prolong this inning. Tufts now with men on the corners looking to do some damage with Verinos up. They could really use a base hit here.
I believe they're going to call that an error, if I'm not mistaken. Elias Verinos, 2 RBI in the day.
And we're going to have a visit with the infield umpire. Perhaps they think there was a balk. That's the only thing I could imagine.
I think you might be right. Head coach John Casey has been the head coach for over 30 years here at Tufts. Been doing this for quite some time.
No, we were talking about earlier how it seems like many of the Tufts coaches are very, they've been around for a while. Obviously, in volleyball and basketball with Berube, especially with basketball. I think she's been around since the late 90s. Is that when she came over?
I believe you're right. I don't know the exact date. How long has the soccer coach been around?
Shapiro's been around, I don't know exactly, but he's been the coach for all 3 of their national championships. Josh Shapiro, that is. I think he's been here for a decent amount of time, but the soccer culture certainly shifted when he got here. Seems like Bob Sheldon's been around for a minute as well with men's basketball.
Certainly. So Rosario will deal to Elias Varinos. Varinos watches the ball in the dirt. Stopped by Bernstein.
There's some stellar catcher play by Bernstein, and as we say that, I'm sure the next ball will go right by him. But
right.
I mean, we are tough students after all.
This is true.
For just a mere 13 months or so? That's the plan at least.
Something like that, yeah. Beautiful breaking pitch by Rosario. We'll get Varinos looking. Evens count of 1-1.
Base hit would go a long way here as there's still a lot of baseball to be played.
Yeah, again, they'll be playing the full 9 innings, or at least until the sun goes down. Too high. So Varinos will get ahead in the count 2-1. Of course, if you're a fan of the broadcast, be sure to follow our Twitter at Tufts JumboCast and like us on Facebook. Rosario high again, can't get that breaking pitch to fall down into the zone. So it'll be 3-1. Expecting a fastball here from Rosario. Runner's going, it'll be close. And a double steal will score a run. Well executed by the Jumbos and a risky play with 2 outs. Some good base running from Frickman will score Cortez.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't really expect Frickman to take off there, and a good throw has him. He was dead to rights, but it was a pretty poor throw, and that led Cortez to take off from third. And as we mentioned earlier, if you're the Jumbos, you have to manage to manufacture runs any way you can, and that's one way to do it.
Despite that, Middlebury still holding a 4-run advantage, although Varinos has a full count here. And he'll take a walk, so man on first and second for Will Shackelford.
How's Benintendi been doing this season?
He's been all right. Offense has been lacking for the Red Sox, although I shouldn't really say lacking because we've scored 8 runs twice so far this season and lost both of those games.
Really? Pitching's been the issue?
Yeah, pitching's been the issue. Our infielder, Eduardo Nunez, has a lower ERA than our starting rotation, which is not a statistic that you want to hear. Of course, losing 15-8 to the Diamondbacks yesterday. Benintendi has not hit a home run yet, although J.D. Martinez has 3. Rosario delivers to Shackelford. It's a first pitch strike.
I was going to say perhaps Shackelford should switch up the music if it's not working for Benintendi. It might not be working for him. Although I don't even know. Is Benintendi still using, was this I Love My Life by Low Cash or something?
Well, I haven't been to a game so far this year because the Red Sox have not played in Fenway, so I cannot answer that question. Rosario with a fastball gets Shackelford off balance there as he takes a swing and a miss. Shackelford down 0-2 quickly with 2 outs. Oh, this guy Rosario can play.
Yeah, I think Middlebury's got one for the future. And the present, for that fact.
Yeah. He's got a nasty breaking ball, and that fastball really tricks him. Fastball again. Just outside. 1-2. Rosario taking his time here with runners on base. Shackelford got a hold of that breaking ball. No, he did not. Barely got out of the infield. So he flew out to the second baseman. Henning's recording the last out of the inning. 1 run, 2 men left on for Tufts, and the deficit is still 4 for the Jumbos. We'll be back with you for the top of the 6th inning. Phil Bernstein will be leading off for the Panthers as they command a 4-run lead over the Jumbos. Bernstein a single and an RBI, as well as a ground out today.
And as you noted, Brent Greeley's still out there for the Jumbos despite having given up some hard – it wasn't just giving up a couple of runs. He gave up some hard-hit balls the past 2 innings.
Certainly did. Still got some velo on that fastball, though, as he fires one in for a strike. Shade covering the press box.
Yeah, but I was just going to mention the sun really beaming down on the batter. It might be a bit more tricky to locate the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand.
Communication with the bullpen as Bernstein lifts one to left field. Santos Ocampo tracking it, and gets it. There's another quick out for Greeley.
Although I believe that's been the mantra for the past 2 innings, and each of those he's given up 2 runs.
Right. 2 long balls today for Greeley. One to Hanrahan and one to Stremicki, I should say. As we are back to the top of the order, as Hennings digs in. Hennings, the leadoff man. Oh, that ball was dangerously close to a car in the parking lot. I do not know why you would park your car windshield facing towards the field that closely to the field, but, you know, I'm not the one driving. Hennings yet to record a hit so far today, yet to even get on base. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He's one of only 2 batters on the Middlebury side to not get on base, not counting the pinch hitter Sam Graff.
It's always not a fun side of the stat sheet to be on when your team has 8 runs on the board.
But hey, it's all about the win, right?
It certainly is. You'd hope so, at least. They're certainly, I'm not saying in D3 baseball. I'd assume in D3 baseball especially, it's definitely much more the team motto. But in professional sports, there's certainly those players who are thinking about their contracts and really just about stats.
Marcus Morris comes to mind of the Boston Celtics. Greeley another ball. It'll be 2-2.
So yeah, I still think Marcus and Markeith should just switch towns for 1 game and see if anybody notices. I sure wouldn't.
How do you know they haven't done that already?
That's the good point.
Got the hold of that one, sent it to right field. It's going to be a run for Day. Day tracking it on his feet, on his knees, makes the catch. So maybe heart skips a beat there for the Jumbos fans there, but it is still a recorded out. So Hennings' bad luck continues as he's now 0 for 4 on the day.
Yeah, Ryan Day, I suppose he's listed as an outfielder / catcher, but I certainly tend to see him more as a catcher playing out there in right today.
Yep. Yeah, that was almost unfortunate for the Jumbos, but nevertheless, 2 up, 2 down for Greeley as Brooks Carroll digs in. Carroll right off the bat rifles one to Knight. And Knight to DeMaria and a quick 1-2-3 for Greeley. We'll stay on as we tend to for these 1-2-3 innings. So Greeley back and forth so far today. He's had some innings where he's been extremely efficient and some innings where he's just really has not had a sense of control. Now for everybody's second favorite segment, which is called How Are the Nets Doing? So, Lucas, how are the Nets doing?
How are the Nets doing? That's a great question. Well, obviously the race for the last 3 playoff spots in the East, very close with a lot of teams clustered within 1 game. Brooklyn Nets currently playing in Milwaukee. Looks like they're up 53-42 in the second quarter. Second quarter's not even halfway over, so it looks like it's going to be a high-scoring one over in Milwaukee. Obviously, Bucks with nothing to play for. They're resting Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that means the great Brook Lopez is leading the charge for the Bucks.
Former net.
Shout out to Brook Lopez.
Yep. Bucks, of course, locking up the best record in the NBA. I think they did that yesterday, but I'm not sure.
I think it was 2 days ago. They secured a win against Philly, I believe. But yeah, they're a scary team. I don't think anybody wants to face them. They're a legit 1 seed for sure.
Yeah.
Especially, it's interesting. Last year they were the 8th seed, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they really turned it on, and
they really elevated their game.
You know, LeBron's out of the East and everything, but it's still a difficult conference.
Absolutely. I think the East gets a lot of flack sometimes. People don't think it's a legit conference because the top teams perhaps aren't the Warriors or the Rockets or the Nuggets this season we're seeing. But
well, a lot of good players in the Eastern Conference. Back at the top of the order for the Jumbos as we transition back to D3 baseball instead of NBA basketball.
No surprise, Alex Rosario back on the bump.
And off and firing. Didn't even get some time to play Mills' walk-up music.
Center fielder number 6, Justin Mills.
Mills playing center field today actually hasn't had a lot of action.
Going for some frisbee players.
Falls down quickly 0-2. Mills will walk a strikeout and has reached on an error. You know, I can imagine Rosario with a little bit more training to get that breaking ball to snap a little bit more and get it out of the top of the zone. That'll be a scary pitch in the years to come.
Certainly will be.
It already is. Mills smacks one foul. Count is 1-2.
Now, obviously, in D3 baseball and the minor leagues, for that fact, you often see this occurring. But number 7 for a relief pitcher as the jersey number, that's kind of an interesting choice.
It is an interesting choice. Oh, did he go?
I think he did.
He did. Mills goes down swinging for the second time today.
I think that was the right call. His wrist snapped a little bit too far on a pitch up and out of the zone.
Yeah, I don't think it was that close.
Mills has had a couple of those strikeouts on pitches that he really shouldn't have swung at, and you can see his facial expression coming back. He's definitely upset with himself.
Yeah, the guys who haven't faced who haven't faced Rosario yet, they need to get used to his pace. It is a quick pace. Ryan Day, who had and there's a strike again from Rosario. Ryan Day, who had maybe a little bit of a cardiac catch in right field earlier, a couple minutes ago. Hitless today with a walk.
I don't think I asked you, if you were still playing, what would your number be out there?
Oh, I'm a big Rosario bounces one in the dirt. Bernstein blocks it. I was a big 21 guy. I always wore 21. Yeah, so that was always my number.
Any reason behind that one? Big 21 Savage fan?
I'm not a big
Kevin
21
Garnett
Savage
guy?
fan. I am a Kevin Garnett guy, but
Although I suppose he was 5 with Celtics.
I liked 21 because blackjack, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I used to
That's
play
a good reason.
Used to play blackjack with my dad. You know, nothing too serious, but 21 was always the lucky number. So it's always just what I wore. Fires in a strike, Rosario does to make it 3-2. And I just thought it looked really clean. You got the 2 with the 1. Rosario, the payoff pitch, and he gets Day swinging. So 2 strikeouts in a row for Rosario. He's got 3 on the day.
And Ryan Day incredibly late on that one.
Ocampo, who had a home run last inning, sent one over the left field wall.
Starting to get a little dark out here. I think the sun might have, it's behind these clouds perhaps for good. We might see it break through one more time.
Yeah, so it'll set early as we've got the uphill incline behind us. So the sun will be setting behind a hill, so maybe lose about a half an hour there of sun time. Rosario, another first pitch strike. I do think we're in line for a beautiful sunset tonight, though. Rosario breaking ball too high. We've got some clouds in the sky, but clear on the horizon. Usually a pretty good formula for a nice sunset. So I'll be watching that from my balcony, assuming I get home in time. Rosario, close, but no cigar there.
One pitch.
For folks at home, Lucas has taken off his sunglasses. Can't imagine he'll be putting those back on. Santos Ocampo watches one. It's a touch too high. Count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, the sun was playing with us a little bit earlier when it was kind of just popping in and out of the clouds while it was still being cast over us. But as you mentioned, now it's behind the booth, so we're going to be in the shade for the rest of the way.
Yep.
Definitely can put those glasses away for the afternoon.
And Ocampo fights back from an 0-2 count to get on base with a walk. So Ocampo,
rally perhaps with DeMaria coming up.
Yeah, true. Ocampo has been on base 3 times so far today.
And that's why he's so vital to his team. He's not a captain as we've mentioned, but he really is one of their vocal and emotional leaders. Yeah.
And I mean, just terrific fielding.
4 stolen bases on the season. Perhaps not a bad chance to swipe one. So you're still down 4.
Yeah, wouldn't hate it.
Although I don't know if I want to take the bat out of DeMaria's hands.
Lefty pitcher too.
Yeah, and I think we see Rosario there threw that pickoff attempt kind of high, and it seemed like he was grimacing as he got that back. I think the sun is in his eyes as he was throwing that one, so he might have almost been grateful that he didn't throw that away.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that. That's a strike, another first pitch strike for Rosario. DeMuro walked today, no hits. Rosario steps off. Give himself a little time. Really slows down his pace when there's runners on. Again, thank you all for tuning in, as always. Appreciate the support. You know, you respect us and we respect you. We reciprocate. And it really goes both ways.
Absolutely.
Ball's in the dirt to make it 2-1.
Looks like someone's warming up in the Middlebury bullpen. Not too surprising, I suppose.
Not shocked. This will be the second inning for Rosario. DeMuro smacks one. It might be fair. It is. Down the right field line. Rolls all the way to the fence in right field. He's turning for second. Okay, Santos Ocampo is looking for a home. It's going to be a close play. The play slides in, and that'll be an RBI double for DeMaria, his first of the day. First hit and first RBI.
Nice piece of hitting by DeMaria, sending it down the right field line. And as we mentioned, Santos Ocampo just does so many things well as a baseball player. And there you see him hustling all the way, ensuring that he scores. And just like that, Tufts really back in this game. It's only a 3-run deficit. They've cut the 6-run lead in half.
Right, which makes that 3-run home run all the more frustrating, you know?
Absolutely.
So Kyle Cortez with a runner in scoring position. A little 2-out rally for the Jumbos here, potentially.
And again, that's another reason why, in addition to the pitcher being a lefty, which is probably the primary reason, but that's why you wouldn't send Santos Ocampo there, is you just trust DeMaria. You don't want to take the bat out of his hand there, so you know you're the guy who hustles on the base path. Anything in the gap or along the lines could score.
Yep. Ball falls into for a strike. Count will be 1-1 against Cortez. Cortez, 2 singles on the day. 1 ground out, so 2 for 3. Not a bad outing by any means. DeMaria, shocking 21 RBIs coming into this series. So that'll be his 22nd, assuming he didn't score any last game, which, of course, I can't speak on because I didn't watch the entire game. Cortez knees buckling a little bit, but takes one for a ball to make it 2-2. So Rosario feeling the pressure a little bit. Big pitch here. Pitch comes in, fouled off by Cortez. A little off balance there. Breaking pitch got him.
It's a nice at bat. He's taking a couple deceptive pitches, and he's doing a good job to fight off those borderline pitches and keep this at bat alive.
Absolutely. Another important pitch and another foul ball. So Cortez making Rosario work for it. Another foul ball by Cortez. Tension mounting on both sides here.
Yeah, and if nothing else, if your goal is to knock Rosario out of this game, you're making him throw some pitches.
Right. We mentioned the activity in the Middlebury bullpen earlier. Can't imagine Rosario, who only has 9 innings in the entire season, can stay in for much longer. Another foul ball. Tell me if you've heard this one before, but Cortez working. I believe that's the 7th pitch of this at-bat. It's 2-2 count, so the count is not yet full.
So how about this? We got 7 on the mound, 7 at the plate, 7th pitch of the at-bat.
Stings that one foul to right field. I heard some bated breath on the Jumbo's dugout. Maybe a couple thought that one may be a hook fair there. But that'll be the 4th consecutive foul ball for Cortez. You can see the focus in Cortez's eyes. Ball's in the dirt. But a reminder that it was only a 2-2 count. So now the count will be full with 2 outs, so the runner will be going.
I like that pitch, actually, as Cortez has fouled off 4 straight, so you're throwing him pitches that he can hit. So why not see if he's kind of anxious and expecting another one to hit and throwing in the dirt.
And I knew it was only a matter of time before he just burned one to see if Cortez would chase. So the payoff pitch here. And a swing and a miss from Cortez. What a strikeout by Rosario. Showing resilience on the bump there to get his 4th strikeout of the game.
For the Jumbos in the bottom of the 6th inning, they
scored 1 run on 1 hit, the Jumbos did in the bottom of the 6th inning there. So we'll be back in just a few moments for the top of the 7th. So some outfield, the band, bringing us into the top of the 7th inning. Greeley still on the mound.
Yeah, defensive change for the Jumbos is the junior Harrison O'Brien comes in to play third base from Brookline, Mass. O'Brien hasn't really seen too much playing time in his Tufts career, but getting an opportunity here.
Greeley's still in the game, reaching a pretty high pitch count. Delivers another strike. Batting for Middlebury is Sam Graff. No, it's not. It's Stremicki. Stremicki having a home run on the day. Also hit by a pitch. And he's going to tip that one into the glove, and that'll be a strikeout.
Yeah, good job by Frickman staying with that one to secure a strikeout for his pitcher.
The right fielder, number 30, Sam Graff.
So now it's Sam Graff. Greeley's still throwing strikeouts this late into the game. And another strike to follow against the right fielder. Graff knocked one into left field his last at-bat. It was a nice play by Santos Ocampo to bring it in for an out. Greeley just misses to even up the count 1-1. For folks at home who may be wondering, the official time of sunset is 7:16 p.m. At the rate that this game is going, we might be there before we know it. The game will be called at that time, and we've played enough innings to qualify, so the result will hold.
And Owen Finnegan will not be able to watch the sunset from his balcony.
I won't, and that'll be the true tragedy of today. I have a wonderful balcony. My bedroom leads right out into it, so it's like a little personal balcony. And it gets a pretty nice view of the sunset down at the end of the street. One of my favorite things to do in the springtime. So the count is 3-1. Greeley's behind here. Graf is taking a couple good takes. And a big swing and a big miss to run the count full.
Tufts clawing back. Middlebury could sure use another run or two to kind of get momentum back on their side.
Nicked him, actually.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, nicked his forearm there. The second hit by pitch of the day for Middlebury. So Sam Graff will take his base. You know, I have to say, as we approach golden hour here in Medford,
Third baseman number 11.
the twilight sun really puts a beautiful tinge on these closely packed houses. It's always one of my favorite things to see.
It is very nice. It's artistic almost.
It is, yeah. You know, complain what you want about the population density here, but these triple-decker houses really put together a nice artistic scene, if you're a fan of that type of stuff. Greeley looks for the pick on Graff. Graff dives back in safely. Third baseman Hayden Smith at the plate for the Panthers. So Greeley, maybe not the outing that he had hoped for coming into the game, but certainly eating up innings as that ball,
Double play ball.
possibly a double play ball. Verena fumbles it and can't get the out at first either. So what was potentially a double play ball, a slower grounder to the second baseman, ended up being, I think they'll score it, a hit as we get the scoring decision coming in.
The designated hitter number 36, Alan Guild.
Yeah, I think they're going to score that one a hit. So that'll go down as a hit for the third baseman. No, I'm wrong. That'll be an error. Be an error on Verinos. Looking for the back pick, and it's a close play, but no good.
A good attempt there as Shackelford kind of snuck by the runner on second, but it was a good job by Graff just scampering back.
First and second, one out for Guild, the designated hitter. 2 hits on the day, 1 went for extra bases.
Pickoffs are so rare as it is, and on occasion you'll see a pickoff on second. I can't remember a time I've ever seen a pickoff on third. Granted, it requires a runner to be on third, which doesn't happen terribly often, but
Not the most common play. That ball hit into the foul territory in left field. Santos Ocampo ranging towards it, but hooking away. No play.
certainly would take a lot to get picked off from third, considering the majority of pitchers these days are righty, as well as there's no real incentive to get a huge lead if you're at third,
Right.
unless you're trying to steal home.
Have to be a bit of a mental lapse for that to happen. Wind blowing pretty steadily towards left field. That ball is low. Count is 2-2. Wind maybe picked up a little bit since the beginning of this game, but nothing too noticeable. Certainly won't be a factor in the hitting.
You would think not, although I don't know if Santos Ocampo's ball gets out if that wind wasn't blowing in the direction it did.
Yeah, that's a good point. That one just snuck over the blue stripe on the wall.
Skied a mile
Ball's
high.
hit a mile high, just outside of the infield. Shackelford is calling for it, ranging for it, and he got it for the second out of the inning. Next up, Hanrahan, who had a 3-run shot back in the 5th inning. to go along with a walk so far today.
The first baseman, number 26, Ryan Hanrahan.
Should mention that was Hanrahan's first home run on the season. That home run, of course, being the difference in this game.
And the stage is set for a repeat.
Yeah, truly. Back pick coming in again. No good. So Graff having to hit the dirt so far in this inning. He's been attempted to be picked off 3 times.
He's got 3 stolen bases on the season, so I guess he is someone you want to watch out for.
Yeah, limited play time, too. That ball off the end of the bat in play to the first baseman, and that'll be the 3rd out as DiMaria catches it. So a quick inning for Greeley, and we'll be moving towards the bottom of the 7th with Tufts down 3 and limited sunlight left, so it'll be a battle against Mother Nature, and we'll be back to see if Tufts can close this 3-run gap.
Stretch time here at Austin's Field. Scheduled to bat 4.
Pitching change for the Panthers as we enter the last third of this game. And Lucas will let us know who's getting on the bump for the Panthers.
I would love to. That's going to be number 19, Connor Himstead. He's a senior 6'3", 205-pound pitcher out of Wellesley, Mass. So hit us with some Wellesley, Mass knowledge, Owen.
Wellesley, Massachusetts is the town with the highest average income level in Massachusetts. Wellesley High School Raiders, terrific high school. Ooh, a sidearm pitcher. So a non-conventional delivery for Hempstead.
And Harrison O'Brien newly entered into the game this past half inning. He's up to bat first for the Jumbos as they look to continue to crawl back. He hits one on the dirt to third.
So it'll be Smith to Hanrahan. Routine play. Wellesley, Massachusetts, of course, right next to my hometown as well, where I grew up. Needham, Massachusetts. They share a border. Also, my sweatshirt that I'm wearing right now is a Babson baseball sweatshirt. Babson College, located in Wellesley, Mass. That's about all I got for Wellesley, Mass.
It's infinitely more than what I got.
Volante Farms is a wonderful place to eat in Wellesley. If any listeners ever find yourselves there, support local business and eat at Volante Farms. Beautiful farm-grown food, homemade ice cream. It's a really, really terrific place. That's a strike to Harrison Frickman, who reached on an error his last at-bat and had a double before then.
Boy, the sidearm, something you don't see that often at any level these days, especially with the emphasis on pitchers and their longevity of their career with their arm health and stuff. I think the sidearm is most people would agree it's kind of a violent motion.
Yeah.
Especially on that elbow, which is the main area of concern for a pitcher.
Yeah, Hempstead actually wears his hat a little askew, too. So
Fernando Rodney.
yeah, I like it.
Little Billy Wagner style with Fernando Rodney with the fashion.
Hempstead 6 innings pitched as he runs the count to 3-1 there with the ball. 6 innings pitched on the season, has allowed 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Good for a 1.5 ERA, so limited playing time for Hempstead, but effective. Frickman tosses the bat up as he gets a walk.
He was taken all the way there, it seems, and that's a smart one as you're down 3 runs. You need base runners, so
Absolutely.
whether it's via hit by pitch or just a walk. Verinos now with a in position to prolong this inning and keep this train rolling.
Marinos responsible for 2 RBI so far today.
The second baseman, number 12, Elias Verinos.
Marinos, another Massachusetts native from Middleton, Massachusetts. He takes a strike there. Graduate of Masconomet High School, a regional high school out in central Massachusetts area. Topsfield, Middleton, those areas. Of course, one of the highlights of my high school career. Hempstead delivers a ball. Makes it 2-1. One of the highlights of my high school career as Lucas was beating Masconomet 2 events to the state finals in Frisbee my senior year.
Very nice.
Yep.
And you didn't get a Frisbee scholarship. That's a shame.
No, I didn't. Verinos knocks one to the shortstop. Going to be a long throw. It goes for the play at second. He's safe, and Verinos is going to be safe at first. So fielder's choice is safe, and 2 runners on with only 1 out there. Interesting decision from the shortstop.
Here comes Shackelford with a chance to tie if he can get a hold of one and send it over the wall. As Low Cash booms throughout Huskins Field.
So Shackelford at the bottom of the lineup hasn't had a whole lot of success today. 0 for 3 is looking to change that with 2 runners on.
Of course, double play ball is still in order here.
The shortstop, number 1, Will Shackelford.
Certainly is. See the middle infielders playing deep, getting ready for that double play ball. Shackelford takes a strike. Hempstead delivers way outside. Good job by Bernstein getting down and blocking that ball.
Now, this is something I've never researched or investigated, but I wonder at what stage of a pitcher's career he realizes he should transition to a sidearm.
Right.
I feel like it's obviously an unnatural motion.
Right.
It's something you have to choose to do. So I wonder at what stage of Hempstead's career he realized he's effective as a sidearm pitcher.
Yeah, you can't imagine they grow up with that motion, right?
I certainly wouldn't think so.
I know Tim Wakefield, who was a knuckleball pitcher, was like an infielder in the minor leagues, and they were just like learn how to throw a knuckleball. So maybe it's kind of similar, you know? Wish we could get him up in the booth for an interview. But ball's down low and outside, so Bernstein working behind the plate there. So every at-bat for the Jumbos is going to be crucial. We got some darkness setting over the field here, so the sun is no longer a factor. Counts even at 2-2. Oh, a close pitch, but it's low. Count is now full. Marino's on first, Frickman on second.
Spot where I would consider a hit and run if you weren't the tying run at the plate, but I think runners have to stay put here. Down 3 runs with the tying run at the dish.
I think you're right. Shackelford fouls one off into the parking lot. Ooh, that was a direct shot on a windshield.
Yeah, we saw some windshield movement there.
Yeah. I don't think any shattering, though.
No, they're pretty well designed these days to, because you know if you're in an accident, you don't want to shatter into a million pieces and go all up in your face.
Shackelford stings one to right field. Diano's back. He catches it. Runners retreating back to safety. So well hit, but that is an out. So now there's 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Back to the top of the lineup for the Jumbos. Just a little PSA for anybody who plans on attending a baseball or softball game at Tufts this year is make sure that your windshield is facing the gym, not facing the field. That way, the chances of your windshield getting broken from a ricochet shot or a direct shot is much lower. So just a little PSA for anybody who wants to come out and support their team. Much harder to shatter the back windshield.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Justin Mills steps into the box. He's had a rough couple past at-bats. He's swung at some pitches out of the zone for strike 3 calls. Looking to redeem himself here. This is a big spot to do so.
Yeah, he'll really have to laser in here as this is an important at-bat. Pitch is down low.
Yeah, and as you alluded to, it really is getting darker now, even with the sun behind the clouds. Some sunlight was still trickling through, but now it's certainly getting pretty dark. So Tufts might be battling not only Middlebury, but Mother Nature, as you coined the phrase.
Right. Not any lights here that'll light the field, so really just got to play it by eye. Ball hits Bernstein's Bernstein's glove. It's a ball. Mills is ahead 2-0.
Two-0 hitters count. Do you give him the green light here?
Didn't like what he saw. That ball was inside. It is now 3-0. Yes, I don't know. Green light or do you take it?
That's tough, especially with afternoon. Mills has had swinging at some bad pitches. If he gets a pitch to hit, he might have to go for it.
Unleash.
Does have 1 homer on the season. Granted, you don't need to tie the game here.
That's right. Let's get on base, and he does. It's a 4-pitch walk. Hempstead a little wild at that at-bat. Bases are now loaded with 2 outs, and Ryan Day taking the plate. So go-ahead run is at the plate. Manager for Middlebury is taking the field. Don't know if this will be a pitching change per se. I didn't see any action in the bullpen. But 2 quick walks for Hempstead will warrant a meeting.
Yeah, and it's a mound visit, so that means it's everyone's favorite segment once again.
Oh, here we go.
This day in baseball history. All right, this day, 2004, it was opening day at Bank One Ballpark. And Diamondbacks outfielder Luis Gonzalez and Rocky second baseman Luis Gonzalez each homered, making it the only time, the second time in Major League history, players with the same first and last names homered in the same game.
Wow.
Oh, and can you guess who the other occurrence was?
Oh no!
It's really something that when I give you the answer,
would I know?
you'll realize it's actually kind of it's not that hard once I give you the answer.
Was it like John Smith or something like that?
It was actually Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr.
Oh, I didn't know they homered in the same game.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
How about that?
That's pretty cool. So Hempstead is staying out there. 5th straight ball to Ryan Day.
Yeah, and if I'm Day, I'm taking every pitch until he throws me a strike. You just got to claw back one run at a time. So if Hempstead wants to walk in a run, let him.
Yeah, certainly.
Especially with the dangerous Santos Ocampo on deck.
Although the bases are loaded, there has been no official hit so far in this inning. As Day almost takes a ball to the shin there to make it 2-0.
Boy, the way the ball comes out of Hempstead's hand, that's twice now that I've been fooled. I keep thinking that he's not releasing the ball. He kind of snaps his wrist really violently. And I kind of lose track of the ball sometimes when he's delivering his pitches.
Yeah. Same spot. Ball is low and inside. So 3-0 again. That is 7 straight balls for Hempstead.
Well, Hempstead has to throw one over the plate here.
Can't see any action in the bullpen. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't either. Actually, there is a bullpen catcher there. We can't see the pitcher, but we see a catcher.
Not a whole lot of pitchers left in the Middlebury stable. Ball is up and a strike. Tufts dugout didn't love it.
I think it caught the zone, although of course we don't have the infamous K zone.
Wish we did. Budget isn't there yet. And Hempstead nails Day in the back. Day takes it all away, and that'll be a run scored and an RBI for Day. Tufts now down 2 with the bases loaded. Of course, 2 outs as well.
And the red-hot Santos Ocampo coming to the dish with a chance to tie the game with a base hit. Of course, Santos Ocampo homered earlier in this game on the first pitch he saw. I'd imagine he'll be more patient here as Hempstead really having troubles.
Single could tie the game, though.
It looks like we're going to have another meeting at the mound.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have not reloaded my fun fact this day in baseball history, so I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to deliver one to you.
We'll just have to fill the air with our musings, and Hempstead will be coming out. 2 walks and a hit by pitch, not his best outing, and he's responsible for all men on. So pitching change here for Middlebury, their 3rd pitching change of the day to Tufts 0, actually. Tufts still with their starter, Greeley, at least of last half inning.
And I would love to tell you who's in, and it is number 16, Andrew Martinson. Martinson, 6'5", 220 pounds, junior from Evanston, Illinois.
Oh, Northwestern University town. Of course, I've been to Evanston before. It was sort of an overcast, cloudy day. Lake Michigan smelled like dead fish, and I was like, I don't think I want to go here for college.
Fair enough.
Cool. So our friend of the program, Todd, who's the PA announcer for not only the Jumbos, but also the UMass Boston baseball program, pointed out to us that the Huskins lights did come on at about 6 p.m. Of course, those are looking like old incandescent lights, Lucas. I mean, those are pretty yellow.
Not too sure how effective those are going to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hindrance. It hurts my eyes to look in this direction now.
It does, yeah. That's I don't love those. And those lights look like they might not have been changed since like 1962.
That's being generous. Back to the pitcher on the mound, Martinson. Doesn't have a decision yet on the season. He's only pitched 2 innings, 2 strikeouts and no walks, no runs allowed. So
all right.
Don't really know much about this guy, to be fair. I'm sure Tufts has done better scouting than we have.
Yeah, not too much on the tape on this guy, but, I gave you some fun facts on Evanston, Illinois, so what more can you ask for? Although, ironically, I did get into Middlebury, where he now attends. So, did not go, in case anybody was wondering.
I don't think anybody was wondering, considering you're here right now.
So Martinson's warm-ups wrap up. Santos Ocampo facing a new pitcher with 2 outs. Of course, all runners on. Hempstead is responsible for.
JumboCast dugouts come alive. They're jumping up and down. Santos Ocampo with a chance to make this place go crazy.
Been a long day for the Jumbo's dugout. First game started at 12:30. Most of the players are here by 11 o'clock warming up. So nearly 8 hours at the ballpark.
This would be a big comeback win. Obviously, as we mentioned, Tufts not really down a lot, so this would be something that they're not used to, a nice comeback win.
Yeah, right. Still 2 outs, though.
Still a lot of work to do as well.
Aaron pitch, it's bouncing the dirt. Bernstein blocks it. Santos Ocampo walk, home run, single on the day. 2 for 3 with a walk. 1 RBI. 2 runs scored. That ball is up. So Santos Ocampo is ahead 2-0. Up next for the Jumbos, should they get there, is Di Maria, who had an RBI double his last at-bat. So a couple heavy hitters here in the Tufts lineup. Campo is taken all the way, and that was a strike right down the plate.
Yeah, if you're Martinson, as hot as Santos Ocampo has been, obviously you have to get him with nowhere to put him, but you really do not want to face Di Maria.
Close pitch, but a ball, so 3-1, and one more ball will bring another run to the plate. Martinson has to be careful here. Just one little sliver of light right on home plate. Going to be a strike and a close call. Great pitch by Martinson with the pressure on. So now a full count. Two outs. Runners will be going.
Anything in the gap's going to clear the bases.
Biggest pitch of the day here. And it's the junior right-hander, Martinson, who will be delivering it.
Caught him looking.
Got him looking. Wow. Martinson, limited work on the season, gets Santos Ocampo, one of the hottest hitters of the day. Tufts leaves 3 men on.
Tough one there for the Jumbos. Santos Ocampo just wasn't ready for that pitch. Looks like Martinson took a little something off of it, and that's unfortunate for the Jumbos.
You know, I got to say, home plate umpire has been doing a great job. I think he needs a little bit more of an emphatic strike 3 call.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell. Delay, yeah. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll be back with you for the top of the 8th inning. The score is 8-6, and Tufts left 3 men on. Welcome back. We're coming back maybe a little bit earlier than we would usually to announce a pitching change for the Jumbos, their first of the day.
That's
Greeley
right.
will be stepping off with 7 total innings pitched and 7 earned runs. So who's coming onto the bump for the Jumbos?
This is Tommy Leone, the freshman.
Leone,
the freshman pitcher.
Oh.
Apparently he's heightless and weightless, as he is the only player in our scorecard without a height or a weight. But we do know he is from Hopkinton, Mass. So hit us with some Hopkinton, Mass knowledge.
Hopkinton, Massachusetts. All right. So I grew up in a town a little bit west of here called Sherburne, Massachusetts. Very small town, sort of a farm town. And that's not too far from Hopkinton, actually. Hopkinton, a pretty nice town, kind of out in the boonies. Not too much going on there. It's near like Ashland, that area. Kind of a dead area. It's where a lot of people move out to raise families. So graduate of Hopkinton High. Sort of a middle-of-the-road high school academically in Massachusetts. But, yeah, that's all I got about Hopkinton.
Ooh.
Sort of near the Framingham area, if you know where that is.
So Leone maybe perhaps a little bit nervous on that first pitch. Obviously, doesn't have that much experience on the season.
Has he pitched yet so far?
He's not on our pitching leader sheet, so I don't know if he's got any experience this season.
Wow.
Looks like our pitching leaders only go as far as 8 innings pitched or more. So I wonder why there's no height
or weight. Yeah.
Might have just not filled that part of the form out.
He's pitching to the left fielder, Alan Rich, and he'll fall behind 3-0. You know, I keep mixing up Alan Guild and Alec Rich. This is Alec Rich. I apologize if you're a fan of either one of those players. Rich, a freshman, way up from California, a West Coast kid. 1 for 3 on the day with a single, and he just took his first walk on 4 pitches. So Leone didn't know the start he wanted.
Yeah, we still have plenty of time before sunset. We got about 40 minutes, and I'm sure, you know, it's not right on the dot, 7:16, that they'll call the game, but once the umpire deems it's hard to see the ball, but, you know, if you're Middlebury, you can't just kind of sit back, and you still have to be pressuring Tufts to try and scratch across a few more runs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually got to the end of the 9th inning before we got to sunset, but could be a close race. It'll be an interesting one to follow. So a 2-run deficit. Middlebury has a runner on first with no outs. Phil Bernstein has a hit and an RBI on the day, 1 for 3. Playing out of the catcher spot.
How about the bunt? one of my favorite plays in baseball. I get into some debates about this with my friends all the time. A lot of people, it seems, hate the bunt for whatever reason. I think it's a great thing, and it's really one of those skills that a lot of people just don't have anymore. So you see so often that people just can't get a bunt down, but here that's huge. If you can get a runner over to second with less than 2 outs, that'd be big time.
Leona's pitch in the dirt. That'll be 2-0. On Bernstein. Bernstein, another West Coast kid from Palos Verdes Peninsula, California. Not many California natives here today. Of course, our cameraman Zach is an LA kid himself.
For those of you whose brackets are not busted yet, Auburn down by 1 to Virginia. 7.5 minutes left in the first half.
All right. Should be a good game. Leone with his first strike of the day to make it 2-1 against Bernstein. So now we can see the field almost completely darkened. Still some sun over by the Middlebury dugout, but that's about it. And temperatures definitely dropped significantly. My hands are a little chilly.
Yeah, I had to put the retro polo away in favor of the quarter zip. Not the JumboCast official quarter zip, but the just the random Tufts
University branded.
JumboCast merch, it's we're trying to get it to go global. Just still working on that.
We should open a store. Bernstein fouls that one into the stands. Not quite. That'll bounce around the food area. And that'll even the count at 2-2.
Speaking of the food area, we should give a shout out to the Tufts University baseball parents for putting out quite the selection of foods. And they're kind enough to let the media and broadcasters get some in between games. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive spread. Bernstein fouls one over the press box. So staying alive at 2-2.
That's one where if I was 30 feet taller, I'd totally catch that.
A lot of runs scored between both games today.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're only working on a 2-2 count. Low throw from Frickson there.
I don't really know what happened. It must have just slipped out of his hand because, obviously that wasn't a good pitch from Leone, but Frickman, that's kind of one of those like pitch outs almost. You get it, you're standing up to throw the ball, and he really skipped that one on the grass.
Yeah. So stolen base from Rich. Don't have his stolen base numbers in front of me. Oh, and Bernstein goes down looking. So
I thought that was going to be a ball with the umpire's late call, but
so too.
Leone gets a strikeout, and obviously as Leone is a freshman and with the crowd applauding, I wouldn't be surprised if that might be his first career one. But of course, I can't verify that.
Yeah, pretty sure this is his first appearance if he's not showing up on our sheet then, right?
Is that how it works? I really don't know.
Well, it's because Martinson only had 2 innings pitched on the season, and he was on the Middlebury sheet, so who knows?
We sure don't.
We never claim to be experts.
Once again, here at JumboCast, we provide you with the questions, but not the answers.
Leone, 1-0 on Hennings. Hennings hitless on the day, 0 for 4. Back to the top of the lineup for the Panthers.
It's a big spot for a freshman to get his first couple pitches going. Obviously, Tufts has had some blowout wins. They had a 30-2 win, but I suppose you can't put everybody in.
That's a good point, actually. Tufts having that 32 win earlier this week against Salem State, I believe. A home game. I'd like to thank all you viewers for tuning in, sticking with us today. We do it for you guys. Leone delivers. That ball's tagged to left field. Santos Ocampo getting a read on it, moving in. And easily caught for the second out. Tough day for Hennings. 0 for 5 now.
The shortstop, number 12.
Leone managing that leadoff walk pretty well. 2 straight outs. And now he'll be dealing with Brooks Carroll. Carroll having no hits on the day, but did reach on an error. Stolen base after that and scored a run in the first inning. Tufts actually out-hitting Middlebury today by 1. 2 less runs to show for it, though. Leone falling behind again with the ball.
Interesting lineup that Tufts has thrown out as the game's progressed. Obviously, we mentioned Harrison O'Brien at third and Leone on the bump now. A couple of players who don't really play that often, and this is an important game. Obviously, you mentioned it's not technically interconference, but nonetheless, this is a close game that you're trying to win, down by 2.
Yeah, I know. Bench runs deep for the Jumbos. Good to get other players some playing time, but like you said, NESCAC opponent. Granted, they're in the NESCAC West.
How about, imagine go to Middlebury and you play in the West.
They should just do North and South, I think.
Yeah. Or do it alphabetically or something.
Maybe I'll write a letter.
Senior thesis.
Fell back again. 1 and 2. Leone is now ahead. Tufts will be taking on Bowdoin next weekend, their last homestand of the season, the 12th and 13th of April, and they will also have a doubleheader against UMass Dartmouth on the 15th.
Oh, is that right? So that's going to be our last baseball JumboCast of the season. So
that's
popped
right.
up.
That's popped up to Shackelford, the shortstop. Handles it easily, and Leone, despite a leadoff walk, handles the lineup very well. You see his catcher giving him some props.
Saying welcome to the show.
Big smile on his face, and you love to see it. We'll be back with you at the bottom of the 8th inning. Jumbo's down 2.
Scheduled to bat for the Jumbos in the bottom of the 8th inning, Peter DeMarie.
Peter DeMarie leading off for the Jumbos. Takes a big hack. That'll be in shallow right field. Graff coming in on it. Handles it easily, so 1 pitch, 1 out. Martinston still out there. As we were saying before we cut to commercial there.
Commercial, are we sponsored now?
If you are a big JumboCast baseball fan, next weekend will be the last weekend to get your kicks. Of course, we'll be having Keene State tomorrow. 1 o'clock, we'll be covering that game. And then 2 against Bowdoin next Saturday. And
still got some softball, do we?
Or 3 against Bowdoin next Saturday, or next weekend. And then 2 against UMass Dartmouth on Monday. We'll be covering all those. So still 5 games left.
You're not done with us just yet.
No. Can't get rid of us that easily. Softball will be back in town the weekend following. So that'll be the 19th and the 20th. We'll be covering those games.
You know, they really can get away from us very easily. All it takes is closing your browser.
That's right.
Yeah, Martinson's still back on the mound. He'll certainly be happy as that one has popped up. Looks like it's going to get out of play. He'll be happy getting Di Maria on one pitch after kind of struggling that last inning.
Certainly, yeah. Cortez strikeouts, 2 singles on the day. 2 for 4. Scored a run in the 5th inning. Count evens up at 2-2. Good take by Cortez. Cortez had possibly the longest at-bat of the day. Unfortunately ended in a strikeout if you're a Jumbos fan. Back in the 6th inning. Ball runs inside to make the count full. Any base runners helps out the Jumbos here, down 2.
Down 2 is or up 2, excuse me. That's a kind of a tricky spot if you're Middlebury. You can't really be complacent. Obviously, you have a lead, which is nice, but you know it's the classic blue pin a blast. That's really all it takes.
Yep. Of course, Middlebury in a bit of a scoring drought, if you can call it that. They haven't scored since the 5th inning. Of course, they were scoring pretty much at will before that. Martinson delivers. That ball is up. Might be a play for Bernstein here. Nope, not even close. Went over the dugout. Had the bad angle on it. So Cortez again stringing together some foul balls.
Yeah, shout out to Cortez, one of 3 lefty batters, righty throwers on this Jumbo team.
Oh, just like me, actually.
Really, just like me.
Oh,
How about that?
Yeah. I bat left, throw right.
Finally, someone who understands.
Which way do you golf?
Lefty.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I can't go golfing with any of my friends. Just kidding.
Cortez will take his base. His 3rd time on base on the day.
Harrison O'Brien back up.
Boom, boom.
See, there's a. This is what, Still Dre, right? That's the song?
Still Dre, yeah.
That's the. It really is with baseball. It's either the hip hop, the classic rock, or the country. You
Yeah, there's not a whole
really
lot
get any pop or.
Yeah.
I think didn't JJ Redick do Careless Whisper? That's
Careless
an
Whisper,
electric
yeah.
song.
High bouncer off the home plate. Might be a play here.
He's safe.
And he's safe. So that'll go down as a single, unconventional if that. And the first hit of the day for Harrison O'Brien.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's his first hit of the season, considering the way the Jumbo's dugout is reacting. They're incredibly hyped up for him.
Absolutely. So first and second with only 1 out.
And that's a big-time hit by Harrison O'Brien, the junior, as he represents a tying run with 1 out, as you mentioned.
Absolutely 1 runner in scoring position.
The catcher, number 10, Harrison.
Here's Harrison Frickman, who is reached on an error, has a walk and a double. Scored 2 runs today, no RBI. So has gotten on base several times today. Martinson's pitch is low. 6:47, so about half an hour until the official sunset listed. Still plenty of light.
Who's going to win this race, Mother Nature or this baseball game? Comment in the comment section below.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. So a strike to Frickman.
I always feel like catchers might have an advantage at the plate, considering they know the strike zone. Assuming it's consistent, they know what the strike zone is, considering they've been behind the dish the entire time. So I always feel like as a hitter, when you're a catcher, you sort of have the advantage knowing what's a strike, what's a ball.
I buy that. Attempt to pick off temp is no good, as Cortez gets back safely. So 1-1 to the senior. We are approaching the 3-hour mark for this game. Strike right down the plate. Good pitch by Martinson there. to get ahead 1-2.
Varinos would be next.
Yeah, Varinos warming up, scored 2 runs today. No, 2 RBI today, excuse me. Frickman pokes one out to right field. Graff is all over it. So that'll be 2 outs, running on first and second. And pretty clutch at bat for the senior Varinos here.
Yeah, a bit of an emergency hack there by Frickman, as I like to phrase it. Didn't really get the full swing around, didn't go a full rotation.
Yep.
And he sort of just poked it into right.
Maybe 10 feet less on that, it would have been in no man's land. But
yeah, and sometimes those emergency hacks, they work, but not in that case.
Nice view of the sunset over Medford Center, as we can see out past the Huskins field side.
As Owen thinks about what a beautiful view it would be from his balcony. But
Varinos takes a strike. As Martinson's done a good job with runners on base so far today.
yeah, a lot of these Middlebury pitchers have worked around some trouble with men on bases. Wynn was doing that earlier today as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Waters.
A ball in the dirt will even it up.
I certainly think we'll get this game in before sunset.
I think so too. Bottom of the 8th right now. Varinos takes a hack, 3 men out there. And it'll be the second baseman, Hennings, who will come down with the 3rd out, 2 men left on base.
Left on base, one of the most underrated stats in baseball, in my opinion. That really tells the tale of the Jumbo's afternoon.
Absolutely. We'll be back for the top of the 9th with Middlebury commanding a 2-run lead over the Jumbos.
Jumbos in the bottom of the 8th inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no Middlebury errors and 2 runners left on base. Scheduled to bat for Middlebury in the top of the 9th inning, Henry Strumicki.
Welcome to the top of the 9th inning, folks. Henry Strumicki will be leading it off for the Panthers. For any of you college basketball fans, Auburn, the 5 seed, is up over Virginia, the 1 seed. They're up 3 points at halftime, so keep an eye on that. Leone delivers. That ball is way high for the first ball on Strumicki. In between innings, the umpires convened on the first base line, maybe talking about canceling the game, or not canceling rather, but calling it off due to sunlight. Decided eventually to let the 9th inning play out.
That is
so here we are.
Pure speculation, of course. They could be deciding what's for dinner tonight.
Also true.
Something of which I have to decide. So.
Anything? You got anything good in the pantry right now? Any leftovers?
Got a lot of mac and cheese going.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Leftover or did you
No,
make it?
no, I can make it.
Yeah. I got some leftover pasta that I'll be having tonight.
Yeah, one of the interesting, obviously, as juniors, we don't have to be on the meal plan. You said you're not on the meal plan at all, I believe.
No.
I'm on a reduced one, but
Yep.
dining halls on the weekend here close at 8 p.m., so.
Lame.
Yeah, so for some of these athletes, especially the freshmen who are on the unlimited meal plan, they're going to have to get some food elsewhere.
That'll be a walk to Stromicki on 4 straight pitches from Leone. Yeah, I'm a big fan of cooking myself. So I actually went to the grocery store this morning just to get food for the week. Of course, I won't be having dinner at my house tomorrow. I'll be back in my hometown of Needham, Massachusetts, celebrating my mother's birthday.
Very nice.
So I'll be cooking her some dinner. Sam Graff takes a ball. Of course, Graff is the only substitution on the Middlebury side so far, other than pitchers. Clouds have a beautiful purplish hue to them right now. Graff shows bunt, pulls back.
Yeah, and this is that kind of awkward lighting where it's certainly light enough to have pretty much everything visible, but if you're a hitter, seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hand can become much more tricky in this kind of lighting. It sort of almost blends in, which is certainly a disadvantage if you're a hitter.
Yeah, definitely. Leon delivers it to ball. That's his 7th straight ball this inning. Graff so far today has been hit by a pitch and has flown out to the left fielder, Santos Ocampo. Ducks out of the way of that one, and that is Leone's 2nd walk in a row. So Stromecki on 2nd, Graff on 1st. 8 straight balls for Leone, and that'll get a manager walking out there, motioning towards the bullpen, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pitching change here in the 9th inning. Leone starting off, he's leaving 2 men on. No earned runs, 1 inning pitched. Got a strikeout.
In the game now, pitching Brendan McFall, another freshman, 6'1", 185 from Baldwin, New York.
McFall also not on our pitching leaders sheet, so we could be seeing his first action of the season.
It's the one really whipping, the hardest it's whipped all day, as some of the dirt on the infield spiraling up a bit.
Yeah, changing direction too, blowing straight out. And man, that is a nice sunset over there. You can see it setting on the spire there. I don't know if that's Medford or Winchester. I think it's Medford.
Over yonder.
Yeah, just beautiful, just gorgeous.
Your attention, please. Now
Springtime sunset, nice and late.
Brendan McFall.
Yeah, it's really nice to have some daylight going in the later hours. It's not that fun in the December, January months when it's pitch black by 5:30.
Game approaching the 3.5-hour mark. One of the longer games the Jumbos had this season. Of course, we mentioned earlier the 30-2 game. That was just about 3 hours and 40 minutes.
And look at some of the Middlebury bench. I don't know if either of you caught that, but it looked like they had a little choo-choo train going. As a couple of them were hopped up on the railing, doing a little train or something. I really don't know what it is, but
just got to pass the time, I guess. Up to bat for the Panthers will be Hayden Smith. The right fielder. Excuse me, the third baseman.
now I don't know the official ruling, but I would certainly be surprised if the umpires would call the game mid-inning change.
Right.
I don't think they're going to allow Middlebury to keep going without giving Tufts a chance, but
that was my question too.
Yeah, the walk certainly prolonged the game, so it'd be interesting to see if it truly becomes pretty dark how far the umps would push this.
Yeah, I mean, still 6 outs. Still a lot of time left, and the light is certainly scant here at Huskins Field. Just over 15 minutes until the official sunset, so Can't imagine this game will go on too much longer. Getting pretty chilly here, too. If any of you have been watching for the entire duration of the game, let us know in the comments. You deserve a award of some sort because that is some serious endurance.
Listening to us, too, for that long as a double steal's going.
Double steal is going. No throw from Frickman.
Yeah, pitch outside had Frickman's momentum going to the right when he had to throw to the left. So there you go. As we've been mentioning, the game's kind of slowed down, but it's a 2-run game. That's a big play by Middlebury. Is now 2 men in scoring position instead of 1, and a base hit could double this lead.
Absolutely.
I wonder if it would be a lead. You think a 4-run lead might prompt the umps to maybe perhaps call it? I don't know if.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they really want Tufts to get a turn at bat just for fairness, but it is worth noting, of course, we're in this position because the first game went into the 8th inning, into extra innings, so that certainly delayed the start of the second half of the doubleheader.
Right. Delayed it by about 20 minutes. So McFall is working with 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-1 count on Smith. Make that 2-2 as he delivers a strike down the middle of the plate.
It's a tall task for the freshman as he's got to get 3 outs without letting a man score 90 feet away.
All right. Any ball in the air into the outfield will likely score a run. As we know, Strumicki can run quite well. Not only is he the center fielder, he also has a stolen base today. A little too high. Makes the count full. Smith cracks that one to center field.
There's Mills giving chase.
Mills way back. Makes a great grab. But that'll score a run, likely. So Strumicki scores to extend the lead to 3. And Graff reaches third base. So an RBI sac fly for Smith.
And we have a pinch hitter for Middlebury. This is going to be number 6, Justin Han or Han?
Han.
Justin Han.
Pinch hitting for Allen Gill, number 6, Justin Han.
6-foot infielder, 180.
Justin Han from Vienna, Virginia. One of numerous Southern players on this Middlebury roster.
Yeah, and he gets playing time. He's batting .271 on the season, 16 runs scored.
Oh, wow.
10 RBIs. So he's certainly a key piece to this team, just, I guess, getting the second half of the doubleheader off. Sky
turning a lovely pinkish hue now. No more golden roofs on those houses over there on Windsor Street.
I don't know about that one. That seemed a little low to me. Maybe the ump just wants to keep this thing moving.
I'm inclined to agree.
Of course, the home plate ump with rocking the short sleeves.
Yeah. It was a good move at the beginning of the game, but his temperature has certainly dropped.
I think he has his temperatures mixed up.
Got some looking on 3 pitches. So the first strikeout for McFall as Justin Hahn goes down quickly. That'll be the second out of the inning.
Big out to get here with a man 90 feet away. You want to give your chance a team going into the bottom half of the inning down by just 3 as opposed to 4.
Hanrahan, 2 runs scored, 3 RBI on the day. Big swing and miss against McFall there.
Big cut.
And the 7th inning flew out to the first baseman. Watches one drop low to even the count, 2-1.
Really, what's the point of these 1962 style lights behind home plate here? They don't do anything.
They're not doing
for
much,
us.
yeah. Really not. They're not even lighting up a critical part of the field.
They're not lighting anything up.
That ball skids foul. That'll roll all the way to the third base fence. So 1-2 on Hanrahan. McFall looking to end the inning here. Questionable whether or not Tufts will be able to play the bottom of the ninth.
I think Thumps are going to give him the opportunity.
Of course, down 3, not a unmanageable deficit by any means. As McFall
Just missed.
just missed.
Yeah, the way the ump stands up, you never
Yeah,
know. if
you
he's
never
gonna
know. You
show
don't
the
know where it's
count
gonna
or
go,
bring
yeah.
him up.
2-2. Man, you know what would really make this? I wish the trees had some leaves on them, you know? That would really make this
Just not that far into the warm months just yet.
Yeah. Tagged to the shortstop. Shackelford on all fours to make that play. And it'll be an easy out. 6-3 putout to end the top of the ninth inning.
And,
Middlebury will be taking the field as if they're playing the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, and looks like Middlebury is alerting the ump of a change. I don't really know who it is, to be fair.
Shackelford will lead off for the Jumbos in the bottom of the ninth inning, and we'll be back shortly to fill you in. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the bottom of the ninth. Don't want to speak too soon, but perhaps the last 3 outs of baseball we'll see this afternoon for a very long day of Tufts baseball. On the bump now for the Middlebury Panthers is number 27, Bobby Sullivan. He's a sophomore. He's 5'11" and 190 pounds, and he hails from Ridgewood, New Jersey, a graduate of Ridgewood High School. Swing and a miss from Shackelford there.
The 9-1-2 hitters up for the Jumbos as their last effort to scratch across 3 runs on the board, at least.
Shackelford is 0 for 4 on the day. Not the day he's probably hoping for. 1-1 Sullivan, no listed statistics on the season so far. And that ball is low to make it 2-1. It is 7:07. This is now the longest game of baseball that the Jumbos have played so far this season. As Shackelford takes another strike there, so it'll be 2-2.
Yeah, a lot of left on base. That's the main culprit of the long game. Obviously, we don't have the stats up with us, but a lot of guys left on base for both sides.
Shackelford stings one to right field. That's going to be a fair ball. Shack trying to send it to 2. He dives down. He's going to be out. What a fantastic throw from Graff, the right fielder.
Boy, that's killer if you're the Jumbos. That looked like 2 all the way, but a nice throw from the right fielder, and obviously down by 3. Scoring position doesn't really matter. You need base runners, and I'm sure Shackelford's going to be second-guessing himself, obviously, with the result.
We mentioned it before. That is a very short right field, just barely over 300 feet there. So it's not the most difficult throw there. That'll be an out. And a strike on Mills. Mills walked last inning. his second walk of the game. He also reached on an error. Swing and a miss will make it 0-2, so Mills down quickly. Ball's a little high from Sullivan. Sullivan, another pitcher like Rosario, who works very quickly. Rosario entering the game a few innings ago, but truly feels like a lifetime ago. To the shortstop. Going to be close play at first. And he's going to call him safe.
I don't know if I agree with
I
that
don't know
one.
if I agree with that one at all,
Tufts will take
Lucas.
it.
I do not know if I agree with that one at all. Nevertheless, it is a single.
Well, that's one of those things where
That'll be Mills'
if
first hit.
Middlebury is home and they're positioned along the first baseline, I thought he was very clearly out. I think that's one where if Middlebury had a better view of that, there would be a conversation going right now.
Just want to address the chat that Evanston is a great college town and Northwestern has a beautiful campus. Sorry you had a bad visit. I completely agree with that. I love Chicago. I love Illinois. Chicago is one of my favorite cities in the United States. Northwestern was a beautiful school. Not denying that at all. Great food in Evanston, Illinois. I went out for lunch and dinner at 2 different restaurants, and they were both fantastic. So I'd say that's an underrated food town, is Evanston.
Nice damage control there by Owen Finnegan.
I just want to make my position well
there you
known. Yeah, it's a beautiful school. Have some good friends that play on the football team there, as a matter of fact.
Very nice.
So they're sort of my Big Ten team. Ball's in the dirt.
Boy, and that Shackelford getting thrown out there, that looms even larger now as Mills is safe on first.
Well, I wonder if that ball was to the shortstop and Shackelford was on first. I feel like that'd be a pretty easy play at
That is
second.
true.
No?
There you go.
Just a thought. Quick walk for Day on 4 pitches. So now a runner on first and second, which means the tying run is at the plate.
And it is a man who's already gone yard once today, Santos Ocampo.
Yeah, Santos Ocampo had that tough strikeout earlier in the game.
Looking for some redemption here.
But also to defend my own school, I think Somerville and Medford is a great college town. Davis Square is a fun place. Not too hard to get into Boston if you're going somewhere on the Red Line. And also a lot to do in Cambridge. Harvard Square, Central Square. Good food. Strike to Santos Ocampo. Strike to Santos Ocampo. That'll make it 0-1. As things are getting really dark here.
Dark and windy and cold.
Dark and windy and cold. Not much color left in the sky. Maybe a little bit tinge of pink up on the middle third of the horizon line. Ball is in the dirt. No runners advance, though. That'll make it 1-1. I do think an overrated college town is Harvard Square in Cambridge.
Really?
I do. A lot of businesses in Harvard Square are closing down as the rents just continue to increase. And I think it used to have a lot of character and pizzazz, but I don't know. I just feel like it's lost a lot of its personality, I guess. Ocampo reaching for that one.
Fooled on that one. He was sitting fastball, but he was well early on that.
Is your hometown near any colleges?
Is mine? Yeah, we're pretty close to Skidmore College.
Oh, Skidmore.
Saratoga Springs, yeah.
The Mustangs, right? Something like
They
that?
are the thoroughbreds.
The
actually.
Thoroughbreds, that's what it is, yeah. I have a couple friends that went there. Count is 1-2 on Ocampo. Ocampo fouls that one up towards the pitcher. Oh, ball falls down. Runners are going to have to advance.
Oh, and they weren't moving.
Oh, infield fly called? They called an infield fly,
yeah.
is what I'm hearing. They called an infield fly.
That was one of those awkward pop-ups where none of the position players were coming to get it. That's where you never really see the pitcher taking it, but in that case, Sullivan was the one who had to take it, and fortunately it was an infield fly rule. It bounced off his glove and landed fair, so
Yep.
Middlebury catches a break there.
They certainly do. So 2 outs. Last stand for the Jumbos. It'll be DiMaria at the plate.
Yeah, and it is really, really getting dark, as you mentioned here. 7:15.
Speaking of college towns, Middlebury College, one of the more beautiful campuses I've ever seen.
Once again, shout out Lucas Pyle.
Shout out Lucas Pyle.
up.
Yep. I ate at a restaurant, I think it was called Two Brothers. Fantastic food there. I also ate in the dining hall of Middlebury College. A lot of local food. Vermont's big on that. Swing and a miss from DiMaria, leaving the count at 1-1. Anything local, buy local food.
Big local guy.
Yeah, I'm a big local food guy. DiMaria on the day has an RBI, a double and a walk. Ooh, that ball's just low.
Entire Middlebury dugout wanted that call.
Lucas, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of the Tufts fans wanted that call too. 2-1 as Sullivan gets ready to deliver. Ball's fouled back towards the stands. Hits the Huskins Field rock. The name like Bobby Sullivan, you think you would have grown up in Somerville,
Now Tufts down to their final strike.
Yeah, one strike remaining for the Jumbos. 2 men on.
Cortez would be next.
Wind's picking up, as you can probably hear in our microphones. Swing and a miss, and that'll be the end of the game. Tufts splits the doubleheader 1-1 with Middlebury College. Final score is 9-6. 11 hits for Tufts, 9 for Middlebury. Game will end on a swinging strikeout from DiMaria.
Yeah, story of this one really left on base for both teams is, again, we don't have the official stats, but both teams leaving a lot of runners stranded. Tufts obviously unable to convert down the stretch. A couple times they had men on first and second, nobody out. Couldn't really scratch across much. And same for Middlebury, really. They had their opportunities to really pull away, but they were unable to do so. And as a result, Tufts just fell short in this one. Middlebury will probably be happy with the split of the doubleheader.
Certainly, full beautiful day of baseball. Thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate it. My name is Owen Fing, and I'm alongside Lucas Pyle. For my director, Trevor Russo, Lucas Johnson.
There we go.
For my director, Trevor Russo, and my cameraman, Zach Eskenazi. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, and be sure to tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Tufts versus Keene State.